And from snowy Hollister Field, we welcome you in as the Pierre Governors take on the Douglas Patriots in the final game of the regular season. John McClure alongside Greg Dean, and it'll be a snowy, wet, soggy game, cold game here tonight. But the press box is nice and warm for us here tonight, Greg.
Absolutely, best seat in the house tonight for you and me, John. I'm glad you got me along on a night like tonight.
And for those of you watching on YouTube or sitting at home listening on today's KCCR, it's going to be nice and warm for you guys too, because it's going to be a cold one here tonight. Everybody's bundled up except for Coach Lewis and Coach Niles. We'll talk more about that later with them in shorts. But for this Pierre Governor team and this Douglas team, this is all points are leading to run the football here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a game that's going to be dictated to some degree by turnovers. I mean, with the conditions the way they are, inevitably the ball is going to hit the turf multiple times. You will see likely balls slip out of receivers' hands that will be converted into interceptions, and so there will be any number of turnovers tonight, and it'll be a lot of how things go tonight will kind of be determined on how many turnovers, where do they happen, and how many does each team have.
And let's talk about this Douglas team too, because you look at their record at 1-6 right now, sitting in the 7th seed, and most likely, as long as the Governors win here tonight, they'll be the 7th seed. Will Douglas? That's going to be, but it's going to be a tough matchup because Douglas last week they were 7-7 at halftime against Yankton. That's going to be this isn't a cakewalk for this Pierre Governor team with or without snow. Not a cakewalk for this team.
Absolutely, and one of the things that Douglas has, and to their advantage, we'll see how it plays out tonight. Is Douglas brings in a really big offensive line and a really big fullback. We were talking prior to the game. I mean, I think you said that the Douglas offensive line averages about 285 across the front, and I think their fullback is close to 300 pounds, and so they've got some size. So on a normal night, the Governor offensive line, even though it averages about 230, which is pretty good size for a high school team, on a normal night with good footing, does that present a disadvantage for Douglas with a quicker, smaller Governor lineup? But on a night like tonight, footing's going to be at a premium. So you kind of got to wonder, will those big bodies of the Douglas line take advantage tonight?
Governors and Douglas Patriots coming up here week 9, final regular season game for the Pierre Governors and the Douglas Patriots. Kickoff is moved back to 6:15, but we'll still have it for you right here on today's KCCR. We'll step aside for 2 minutes. When we come back, we will talk with Coach Machachok of the Douglas Patriots. First, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com, and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, we get set for a kickoff at 6:15. You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, we just heard from both coaches, and the weather is going to be the factor in this game, and making sure you hang on to the football. That's I think most of both Coach Steele and Coach Machachok would say that you have to hold on to the football. That's going to be the big thing here tonight.
Absolutely, and we talked about it earlier in the pregame that this is really going to be a game that is going to be driven by mistakes and turnovers, and whichever team can limit the mistakes, can limit the turnovers, take advantage of what the other team gives them. That's probably going to be the team that comes out on top tonight.
And for the Douglas Patriots, their offensive line is huge, averaging 285 pounds. But this is the same offensive line that we saw last year over in Douglas with Ahmed Hosey, Machachok, Anderson, Jameson, and Wright, all going to be there here for this game tonight, and what they were last year. So this is an experienced offensive line and a very big offensive line.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be something that is going to be, I think, a factor, especially on the racetrack that we got tonight. I mean, this is a field, and if you tune into YouTube, you get a look at it. But first of all, hats off to the Pierre grounds crew for doing what they did to get this field ready. I drove by here late this morning, and they were using blades and sweepers, and there was about 4 inches of snow, and just to be able to even see green grass, I think is a testament to their work. So hats off to them. But the footing is going to be kind of dicey, and I think especially between the hash marks as this game goes on, it's really going to get tore up. And so by the third and fourth quarter, you're going to see people flipping. You're going to see people go down. You're going to see people trying to come out of cuts that may not come out of cuts, and where the quarterbacks think they may be going, all of a sudden there isn't a receiver there and ends up in an easy interception. So we're going to see some strange plays tonight, John.
And this is going to be one for the memories for all these guys. It's always fun to play in snow. It's going to be difficult, but it's always fun to play in some snow. Governors take on the Douglas Patriots. We'll step aside for 2 minutes. Come back with the near kickoff. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, getting set for kickoff. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as we are ready for Week 9 of the high school football season. Playoffs are starting around the states in Class 11B and the 9-man, although half of it starting today. The other half will be played tomorrow with a lot of postponements here from today into tomorrow. So even some AAA game is going to be played tomorrow as well. So there's a lot of games that aren't happening here tonight, but for Pierre, even with everything that's happening with all the snow, we're going to play some football here tonight.
Yeah, and absolutely, and just to be able to get to this point in the season, John, with all that's been going on, I mean, I think is a testament to the coaches, to the players, to the parents, the families, the administration, the athletic director. Congratulations to all of them for just getting us to this point where we're 9 weeks into the season. We're 1 week away from the playoffs starting for 11AA, and it's gonna be a fun game to call tonight. I mean, we're gonna probably see some strange plays. We're gonna probably see some things we haven't seen before, but that's what makes the game of football fun.
And you have to bear with us too. We see where every 10 yards are. After that, everything gets a little dicey. It's hard to even see the next 5 yards. As I believe the referee's mic'd up here, as we will have the Governors. I believe they're going to take the ball as they will get first possession here, and we'll see what this offense is going to do. Obviously, McGuire Rasky is that number one guy, and he's kind of chasing some history here with the Pierre Governors. He's chasing some single season and some career rushing records as we get into the final week of the season and the playoffs next couple weeks.
Yeah, Rasky comes into this game 178 rushes for 1,169 yards. He has an outside shot at potentially setting the single season school record for rushing yards in a season. That's 1825, held by Quincy Christie back in 2005. He also has an outside shot at setting the single season scoring record for rushing touchdowns. Again, Christie has that with 31 touchdowns on the year. Rasky has 22 rushing touchdowns on the year to go with 3 receiving touchdowns, 25 total. So it's already been a fantastic season just through the first 7 games for McGuire Rasky. Be interesting to see how he finishes out tonight and then into the playoffs.
As Peyton DeWitt and Tyler Clark are back deep for Douglas, the Governors will kick off here. They are back deep. They're almost at the goal line. And Carson Miller's got a good boot, but with the snow and the conditions they are, it will be very more impressive if you get all the way down to where Tyler Clark and Peyton DeWitt are sitting right around the goal line right now. So, and don't be surprised if there's any kind of some onside kicks, just because it almost might be better than trying to kick it deep with the way the conditions are.
We were down on the field in the pregame and watching the Governors warm up, and one of the things we asked Coach Nas was how's the footing for your kicking game, and he said that Miller seems to be favoring the right hash mark tonight because he seems to be able to get a little better footing over there.
And it is a pretty good kick for Carson Miller, be taken by DeWitt right up the middle for the Patriots, and they're going to get some good field position. Right around the 30-yard line or so is where the ball will be positioned, and we'll see exactly where it's going to be at, where those chain gang goes. I can't even see them outside the orange they got on. They got all camouflage over there. David Severson, that's the worst joke I'll say all night. David Severson is the quarterback. He's got Tyler Clark in the backfield. Peyton DeWitt as well as Anthony Ramsey will be receivers. Wyatt Pettyjohn will be the tight end. The offensive line, Malik Ahmed Hosey, Tyler Holyrock, Trevor Anderson, Garrett Jamison, and Shane Wright, the offensive line, and they'll have Mache Chalk in the backfield. Man goes in motion under center. Severson will hand off for Clark. He's going to go to the left side. He bounces through a tackler, loses his footing, stays on his feet. He's got a first down. And on the first play for the Douglas Patriots, they get it across midfield and around the 45-yard line from the 31 to the 45, and it's a big first down for the Patriots on their first run.
Yeah, and I think we saw an indication of what we might see the rest of tonight on that play is that the offense may have an advantage, knowing where they're going. The defense, a couple of Governor tacklers, would-be tacklers, were having a little trouble getting their footing, and as the running back started to make a move and make a cut, the Governors were not able to stay with him, and so we'll see if that is a storyline that plays out the rest of tonight.
Handoff for Clark again. He'll go through the middle. He's finding his way around to the 40-yard line. and gain about 5 for Clark, and it's going to be second and about 5, and we're gonna lose those numbers pretty quick here for the Douglas Patriots. They're going to turn from white and red to all brown.
Yeah. The Patriots dressed tonight in white helmets, white tops with red letters, blue pants with red outlines, and like you said, John, those white uniforms are going to turn brown very quickly. So we may have trouble identifying exactly who those skill position guys are pretty soon.
As DeWitt will go in motion, the ball's on the ground on the snap. And it looks like it's going to be picked up by the Patriots. They're going to be third and medium here. They're going to lose maybe a yard or two. And it will be Severson that was able to fall back on top of it. And they're going to lose. We're going to call it a yard. And it'll be 3rd and 6 here. And that's going to be the fun part. We could say a 3rd and long, 6 maybe. It's almost impossible to tell exactly. But 3rd down and around 6, 10-15 left to go here in the opening quarter as the Governors take on the Douglas Patriots here in the final game of the regular season. As Patriots, they're going to take their time. This is going to be a team that's going to take their time offensively. They're going to want to control the clock as much as possible here tonight. As from under center, I formation for Severson. And he'll drop the ball again. Now he's going to try and run off and run with it. He's going to get himself close to the first down marker. He's going to trip up and get down, and he's going to have enough for a first down. He's going to pick up about 7 or 8 yards. After dropping the snap, Severson was able to pick it up and take it to the left side, and a gain of about, maybe we'll call it 8 for Severson, and a first down for Douglas.
Yeah, and a presence of mind for Severson. The ball hit the ground, and presence of mind to not go down on a knee to pick the ball up, but just bent over at the waist, grabbed the ball, and was able to find a crease through the left side. I'm not sure if that's where the play was designed to go or not, but was able to find a crease off the left tackle and was able to find enough yardage to pick up the first down for Douglas.
9:40 to go here in the first quarter. Douglas has picked up 2 first downs here, 1 on 3rd down. 1st and 10 from around the 33-yard line. DeWitt will go in motion, and Severson with a design run straight up to the left side. He's got a room. Severson's going to take it to the house and score from 33 yards out, and Douglas, with 9:26 to go in the first quarter, they take it straight all the way down for a quick touchdown, and they lead 6-0 on the Governors.
Yeah, Clark or DeWitt came in motion to the near side out of his slot position, and a couple of Governors went with him, and then Severson out of the quarterback, just a designed run, design keeper, goes straight off the left side, and there wasn't anybody over there to even get in his way, and he goes 33 yards untouched into the end zone, and the Patriots have struck first and kind of punched the Governors in the nose on this opening drive.
He's going to try and score all 7 points. He's the extra points man for the Patriots, and that one partially got tipped. And it is good, though. 7-0 for Douglas. 9:26 to go here in the first quarter. They punch the Governors first. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor of Football. Today is KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. Back here at 5-play, 70-yard drive for the Douglas Patriots, a 33-yard touchdown run for Severson, and he's got himself the first score of the ball game, and the Governors have now got to play from behind as they trail 7-0, and we'll see what McGuire Rasky, Lincoln Keenels, and company can do on their first offensive drive, as I believe Severson is the place kicker as well, or the kickoff man for this Douglas Patriots team. But Greg, a very good first drive for Douglas.
Yeah, and again, we'll see how the storyline plays out, but footing is definitely an issue tonight. Footing and ball control, and we talked about in the pregame, the fact that the ball has already hit the ground a couple of different times on the exchange between the center and the quarterback for Douglas. So we'll see if that's a continuing storyline tonight for the Governors or just for the Patriots.
Governors will fall on the ensuing kickoff, as it was Gary Nedved that was the one that fell on it, and it'll be first down here for the Governors. Lincoln Keenels, he comes out 87-159 for 1,400 yards. He's got 11 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Of Aaron Booth, Jack Merquant, McGuire Rasky in the backfield, along with Colin Bergman, the fullback. Reagan Bullway, the tight end. Jace Beestrom, Houston Lundy, Gunnar Gehring, Jacob Larson, and Brady Getz as the offensive lineman. Getz takes the place of Denton Beck, who is out after an injury that he'll be able to return next week from. We'll talk more about that here later on. Empty backfield here on first down. Lincoln Keno's looking to air it out, but he's going to be sacked. Douglas, the defensive line, went straight through, and there he was untouched. And Keno's had no chance on that first down play.
Devin Bourne, number 81, the 6 foot, 170-pound junior linebacker, just came right up the middle untouched and throws Keenholz for a loss of about 10. And again, Governors just not starting out. I mean, they've been a little bit of a slow starting team so far this year. Definitely not the way you want to start this game.
Keenholz will look to pass again. He'll dump it off for McGuire Rasky. He'll make the catch in the backfield on the screen pass. He'll get back to that original line of scrimmage, right around that original line of scrimmage, but he's going to be third down and long for the Governors. It'll be third and about 11 or so for this Pierre team.
Yeah, just a short swing pass, and again, Keenholz a little bit tentative with how he threw that ball. I don't know if it's an issue of just trying to get a grip on the ball, or whether the ball, in all likelihood, is probably a little bit slick. So it is probably a little tough to get some grip on the ball. A
throw across the middle for Merquan is going to fall incomplete, so overthrew him, and it'll be Tyler Dundee that got the coverage, and it's going to be fourth down here for the Governors. They're going to have to punt the ball away, and Keenholz will do the punting.
Yeah, and the 3 and out. Not what you wanted to see if you're Coach Steve Steele on the opening drive, especially after Douglas took the first drive and marched right down the field. And so conditions tonight, like I said, it's cold, it's snowy. The wind is not much of a factor tonight, luckily. So we'll see what that does, and we've got a whistle as just as Keenholz punted the ball. It must be a dead ball infraction of some type.
The referee's got a mic, but he's not over the PA. But so it'll be a false start on the Governors, and it'll back them up 5 yards. So it'll bring up 4th and 18 here for the Governors. So it's going to be good field position for Douglas off this punt. And where the couple guys for Douglas are sitting at Severson's, one of those two guys, they're sitting inside Governor territory right now for this punt from Lincoln Keenholz, who is back inside right around his own 10-yard line. 4th and 18, 8:13 to go here in the first quarter. Keenholz, the good punt there. It's going to take a hop. It's going to roll around right around the 50-yard line. So right at the 49 is where the Douglas Patriots will take over. And the Governors right now are so – maybe not so much of a shock that they're down 7-0, but that Douglas had such an easy time scoring on that first drive, and Pierre could not get anything going. Of course, that first down sack really kind of turned things over for Douglas on that defensive stand.
And remember, Douglas went toe-to-toe with Yankton last week in the first half. I mean, it was a game that was 7-7 at halftime, and so that's not a shock. I mean, what we kind of have surmised is that Douglas either gets tired in the second half or just doesn't have a lot of depth and tends to wear down. But as far as they go, they are very much of a first-half team.
Ball almost got on the ground, but we believe it was Clark that continued to move forward. It looked like he was wrapped up, but then got about 5 yards to around the 45, 44-yard line. They'll call it a gain of 4. And it's going to be 2nd and 6 here on that first down run from Clark.
Yeah, just a straight handoff up the middle that he busted to the outside, off to the left side, the far sideline, and there was enough bodies in the way. Couldn't quite see exactly whether the ball squirted out or whether he just kept his feet turning and kept the play alive, but ended up being a gain of about 4, set up 2nd and 6 for the Patriots.
Severson, that was looked like everybody moved except for the center on that one, and it'll be a false starts on the Patriots, and I'll back them up into a 2nd and long, be 2nd and 11 after the false starts.
Yeah, and just like you said, John, I was watching the slot receiver, and he moved about a half a second before the ball was snapped, and he was just one of the offensive players that was moving before the snap. So a little bit of a break there for the Governors to go from second and medium, putting Douglas back in second and long here with 7:12 to go in the first period, and the Patriots leading 7-0.
One of the few spots that we know exactly where they're at in the field, the 50-yard line. That's where the ball is spotted at, 2nd and 11 from that 50-yard line. High formation here for the Patriots. Ball is on the ground again. Severson picked it up, but he was on the ground when he picked it up, so he's going to lose a yard, and it's going to go back maybe to the 48. He maybe even lost 2 yards, and it's 3rd down and long here for the Patriots, and this could be a very good defensive stand for the Governors. They've got to get this defensive stand here. You don't want to go down 2 scores to Douglas.
Yeah, just again, the 3rd time in the first 6 minutes of this first quarter that Douglas has put the ball on the ground in the center quarterback exchange, and obviously if you're Coach Machachuk, that is something you really do not want to see, because if that continues to play out, that's just going to present all kinds of problems and lots of opportunities for the Governors as this game wears on.
6:15 left to go here in the first quarter. 3rd and 13. Whistle, and it looks like maybe a timeout. Yep, timeout's going to be taken by Coach Machachuk of the Douglas Patriots. So 6:10 left to go here in the first. 7-0 Douglas lead on a snowy Thursday evening from Pierre. It'll be 3rd and 13 when we come back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Coming out of the timeout, 3rd and 13 from the 48-yard line, from the Douglas 48-yard line, as the Patriots are trying to find another first down. They scored their first possession in just 5 plays, but the 2 plays so far on this drive haven't gone the way of the Patriots.
Across the bridge. Stanley County leads McCook Central 6-0 early in the second quarter.
We'll have a shotgun, looks like a shotgun formation here for the Patriots. They have a Machachuk. And then we have a whistle, and if we're trying to see if it's maybe the Governors, both sides are pointing at each other, looking like we're in an NFL game here, pointing at each other from who it's actually going to be, whether it's an encroachment or a false start penalty. And nobody's moving yet, so maybe now Douglas is going to move backwards. So it looks like it's going to be on the Patriots. It will be a false start called on Douglas, so it'll be now 3rd and 18 here for this Douglas team, and that's exactly what Coach Steele wants. They want 3rd and long and passing situations, because Douglas does not pass the ball very much at all on the season. So 3rd and 18, coming out of the timeout again, coming off the penalty. Severson's going to go with the designed run, trying to pick it up on the ground. He's going to get past the 50, bounce off a couple of tacklers. He slips. He stays on his feet. He's got another first down. Severson does not go down. He's going to pick up a first down all the way to around the 30-yard line. And a big 20-yard gain for Severson. And the Patriots and the Governors can't get off the field. Defense can't get off the field.
Yeah, I think that was actually closer to 25, because they were back with that penalty inside their own 45 and down to about the Governor 32. So give him credit for closer to 25 on that run. But just a designed keeper went right up the middle, and he was able to bounce it to the near sideline. And Governors are just not wrapping up right now. Slipped out of a couple of arm tackles, and Severson just kept the feet chopping, stayed upright, and did a nice job with the run.
From the pistol formation on 1st and 10, this time there'll be a gang of Governors. I'll make the tackle as Josh Rouse, along with Austin Foley, Lincoln Keenels is on the tackle, and maybe Preston Taylor in there as well. They'll bring up 2nd and medium for the Patriots.
Yeah, and so far we're seeing a lot of David Severson, the quarterback, just on the direct snap out of the pistol formation, and then just able to find a hole behind that really big offensive line that Douglas brings to town.
5 minutes to go here in the first quarter, 2nd and around 6. And another drop snap, and maybe the Governors are able to fall on this one. Cordell is from nowhere near the pile saying that the Governors have it. But it looks like Patriots stay on it, and it'll be 3rd down from right around that spot. It'll be 3rd, and then a 4th time now that the exchange from the center and the quarterback have not gone well. And you wonder if now we got potentially a penalty. Oh, it's going to be a penalty on Douglas. An illegal formation on the Patriots. They're going to back them up those 5 yards. They'll be up second down still. It'll be second and around 11 for
second down.
Douglas. But again, a fourth time now they've dropped it. You almost think we just got to go from the pistol here for the rest of the time because the exchanges from the center to Severson have not been good at all.
Yeah, and Douglas has run the ball well so far. I mean, they have really been able to manhandle that very good and very athletic, but much smaller Governor defensive line so far, and we'll see if that continues to play out through the rest of this game.
Second and 11, pistol formation. Severson's going to keep it himself. He's going to be wrapped up. As I believe it was it was Colin Bergman coming off the edge, and from the right side of the line, or left side of the line, it was able to get to Severson coming to the near side. And it's a no gain in this third down and 11. And for the Patriots.
Yeah, Brueggemann coming on a blitz off the far corner and just came in from the backside as Severson took the snap out of the pistol and headed to the right side of the formation. Brueggemann ran him down from behind with a little help from Josh Rouse on the near side, and Patriots again are in third and long, and the Governors have not been able to keep the Patriots from converting on third down.
And this time they will keep them there as the run got maybe a couple of yards and it'll be dropped, or it'll be Clark, and it's fourth down. But where they're sitting at inside the 30-yard line, it's almost you got to go for it here. There's really no room to punt, and there's no way you're going to kick a field goal at this point for it be 4th and 6 for Douglas.
Yeah, and this is definitely 4-down territory, and I think that's the thing, is that anytime you get inside about the 35-yard line tonight for both teams, unless it's just an absolute chip shot, you're probably going to see both teams go for it on 4th down.
4th and 6 from the 27. 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. From the pistol, high snap. Severson's able to bring it down. He's going to try and get to the left side. He gets inside the tackle, trying to cut it back, and the Governors are going to get off the field as Severson maybe picked up maybe 2 or 3, but it's not going to be enough. And it's going to be first down for the Pierre Governors. A gain of 3 for Severson, and it's going to be a turnover on downs, and that's a big time job. A good job there by the Pierre defense to get off the field.
Yeah, and just that was a bad snap that Severson had to go up in one hand in order to bring the ball down. Kind of broke up the timing of the play a little bit, but still he was able to get about 4 yards out of the play and broke through a couple of Governor arm tackles. And even though Severson's not the biggest, 6 foot, 160 pounds, he runs hard and has broken through a number of tackles so far for the Douglas offense tonight.
Rasky with a handoff on first down. He's wrapped up, and he's able to escape through, and he's going to dive for that first down marker. He stays in bounds, and I believe he's got enough. A gain of 10, and the Governors have their first down. A gain of 11 for Rasky, and there's a big first down for the Governors to kind of move things forward here. There's not a whole lot of time left in this first quarter, only 2:47 left to go. But McGuire Rasky's got his first carry for 11 yards.
Yeah, first time the Governors have run the ball tonight. Just a handoff to that. Rasky was able to bust to the outside, coming to the near side, and was able to get to the edge and find a little running room.
Rasky straight up the middle here on first down. He sidesteps to the left side of the near sideline. He's wrapped up, and McGuire Rasky, we talked about him because he's averaging 167 yards a game, but his longest run is 26 yards this year. He chips away at defenses all game long, every single game. A gain of 7 on that first down run.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's one of the things that's really a strength of McGuire Rasky is the fact that every time you hand him the ball, just about every time, he is going to generate some kind of positive yardage for you.
That snap goes high over the head of Lincoln Keenels. He's going to have to dive back on top of it, and it's going to be third down and very long, as that one got away from the center in Houston Lundy and right over the top and right through the hands of Lincoln Keenels. And it's third down and forever here for the Governors, almost back where they started this drive at, as it's going to be right around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just a bad break for the Governors. Just a snap that kind of went up over Keenholz's head. I mean, on a regular night, on a night when the weather isn't an issue, that's probably a ball that Keenholz corrals. But tonight, the ball just goes right through his hands, and it's a loss of about 15 plus.
Yeah, 19 on that last play. 3rd and 22, a throw from McGuire Rasky. Wait for the blockers to get in front of him, but he's not going anywhere, as he'll be wrapped up just maybe a couple of yards from McGuire Rasky and it's 4th down and long, and the Governors are going to have to punt the ball away again. A promising start to that drive ends, and that's a sack on the first drive and a snap that goes over the head of Key Knowles have been the downfall of those 2 Governor drives so far.
Yeah, and again, the Governors, when they have run the ball, have found some success so far. They just are not having a lot of luck throwing the ball tonight, and that's kind of a that's going to be an Achilles heel. If the Governors can't throw the ball tonight, they're going to have to rely much more on their running game.
As that one's going to be a good punt from Lincoln Key Knowles. It's going to get past the 50-yard line back to Douglas territory, where it's going to be down by Dre Burns. And with 33 seconds to go, it is going to be now for Douglas to try and, again, increase their 7-0 lead, as Pierre looks will all but likely be shut out here in the first quarter.
Yeah, 33 seconds to go in this first quarter, and the Governors are just kind of struggling offensively so far, and something that we're just not quite used to. And I think the weather is playing a factor not only on the Governors side of the ball, but the Douglas Patriots seem to be controlling the line of scrimmage so far, at least on the offensive side when they have the ball.
From under center in the I formation, as a man goes in motion, handoff for Clark. He's trying to slip through the middle. He'll get a couple of yards, and it'll be 2nd down, as it looked like Gunnar Gehring was the first one there for the Governors.
Yeah, just a straight handoff up the middle. Number 6, Peyton DeWitt, goes in motion, kind of back behind from the slot on the near side, back behind both running backs, and the Governors went with him in the man-to-man defense in the secondary, and when the direct handoff came up the middle, good play by Bolwig and the other linebackers to corral the handoff to Tyler Clark.
That will end the first quarter, and the Douglas Patriots, they lead 7-0 over the Pierre Governors. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here at the start of the second quarter, as the Pierre Governors, they trail the Douglas Patriots 7-0. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean, as have a couple score updates here momentarily. If let you get to a chance to get over to it, but what you got, Greg?
Yeah, right now with the 6 o'clock start, Pierre Douglas is the only game going in 11 AA. The 2 other key games that we're going to keep an eye on tonight, number 1 Yankton versus number 2 Brookings. That game in Brookings, that's a 7 o'clock kickoff. And then the bigger game for Governor fans, the game that has playoff implications, Huron and Mitchell, again, a 7 o'clock kickoff in Mitchell tonight.
On a 2nd and 7, a pitch to the right side for for Clark. He'll get to near the first down marker again. It'll be maybe 3rd down and short. It will be 3rd down and short. A gain of 6 for Clark, and it's 3rd and 1. Nope, they're going to save first down. He got enough for a first down. Well, they said it was a 3rd down. Then they said it's enough for a first down, and they're going to end up saying it is first down. So it ended up being a gain of 7. And it's 1st and 10 here for Douglas at the Governor 44-yard line.
Yeah, just the first time we've seen Douglas run a pitch play tonight. Just a quick pitch to Clark going around the right side and some good yardage. Again, that big 285-pound average offensive line is really making some holes for the Douglas Patriot running game tonight.
Severson will take it himself on first down as he'll get to around the 40-yard line. A gain of about 4 for Severson, and a 2nd and 6 for the Douglas Patriots. Severson's got 74 yards so far here on the 9 carries. really, it's been Severson or Clark. That's all they've had so far. Nobody else has touched the football on the offensive side. Severson 74 on 9 carries. Clark's got 48 yards on 6 carries, as it's around 2nd and 6 from the 40-yard line with 10:50 to go here in the first half. Douglas got the opening kick. They took it down for their first score of the game. It's the only score. 7-0 is our score, as Clark will get the handoff on 2nd and 6. He'll be wrapped up a couple of yards, and it'll be 3rd down here and manageable for the Douglas Patriots again, as that snow continues to fall here in Pierre, and it probably will for the majority of the night. Maybe 3rd down and short for Douglas.
Yeah, I know at kickoff, we'll just update the weather just real quickly. 30 degrees in Pierre, but with the wind chill, it feels like 19 degrees out tonight. So again, weather is a huge factor. No secret about that. And like you said, John, in the pregame, this will be a night that every player on this field will certainly remember and talk about for a long time.
3rd and 2 from around the 37-yard line in Governor territory as they work from right to left on your radio dial. 9:54 to play in the first half. Severson from under center. He'll give for Clark. He'll try and sidestep around that defensive line. He's going to be very, very close to that first down marker. I think he's short. I think it's going to be 4th down and 1. But the way we look at where this is at, I think it's going to be close. We might even see a measurement here. But it will be 4th down and 1, a gain of just 1 for Clark. And we'll see now as the Douglas Patriots what they want to do, because those exchanges haven't been the best. So if you say we're going to have now the referee's going to call time, and maybe we're going to have a measurement come out here. And this is going to be the interesting part too, because if you measure, or maybe, if you measure it, the guys are going to be very careful to continue to run on that straight line, because there's no hash marks to really see everything. The referee's going to be very careful on how they take the chains out there.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about, and you kind of alluded to, but didn't put any details on, is the fact that both Coach Nas and Coach Lewis, even though it's 19-degree wind chill tonight, are in shorts, as is Coach Machechuk across the way. I mean, and I don't know if it's superstition or what it is, but barring an absolute blizzard or below 0 temps, you'll see them in shorts at every game.
Well, that's the thing, is Coach Nas is blaming this on me that he's wearing shorts here tonight. It is 4th down and inches, as the measurement was just short. No index card needed for that measurement. But he said that after I had mentioned that all weather shorts weather, he said that's why he's wearing shorts again here tonight. He blamed it all on me, and I'm just saying what he told me over the text message last week. That's exactly what his words were. So it is not my fault. If it's anybody's fault, it's him for texting me that. 4th and inches here from the 36-yard line. 9:23 to go here in the first half. As it's going to be under center for Machechuk, for Severson. He's going to try and keep it and move it forward. And I believe that pile is going to move just enough. It was 4th and inches. I think he's going to have enough for a first down. And Douglas is saying they got the first down. And I believe that when they spot it, they're going to have it. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Douglas. And where they have it, it is a first down for Douglas. We'll call it a gain of 1 for Severson, because there wasn't a whole lot of, maybe just a couple inches that he had to get for a first down, and he got it. 1st and 10 from the 36 with 9:15 and counting to go here in the first half.
Yeah, and Preston Taylor, the Governor nose tackle, did a really nice job of stifling that quarterback sneak, but Jason Machechuk, Coach's son, 6'4", 295-pound fullback, came in from behind and just got enough push on that play to kind of push Severson across the first down marker.
And that offensive line continues just barrel through, as Coach Steele not very happy with one of the officials about maybe not making a call. But Severson, I mean, he gets that snap and he's basically trying to go through that line before the line even has a chance to get up. A gain of a couple for Severson, and we'll call it a gain of 3 on that first down run.
Yeah, and again, just nothing fancy out of Douglas. I mean, they're just a ground and pound team. We haven't seen them throw a pass yet tonight. I mean, they just are just out physicaling the Governors right now, just on the offensive line. And again, that offensive line checking in at about 285 tonight on average is really big. You don't see even a lot of college teams check in with that kind of size and beef on the offensive line.
2nd and 7, flag comes in. I think it's going to be a delay game. Comes from that the umpire from the back as it'll be a delay game on Douglas. Back him up 5 yards. That's a big, I'd say, again, but Douglas, they don't have the play clock like Pierre doesn't have it either. So they're got to be aware of that official counting down from the backside there. And they just didn't see it. But of course, when you have that slow of an offense, sometimes it is hard to really pay attention to what the referee's signaling.
And Severson, the Douglas quarterback, he goes over to Coach Machechuk on the sidelines between every play to get the next play call. And so that takes time for him to get over there and then come back into the huddle.
Low snap. Severson will take it to the right side. He's wrapped up and dropped in the backfield, and that's a big play for the Governor defense as Josh Rouse got over to him first. And Josh Rouse, we're nothing but the short sleeves, no extra clothes needed for tonight. He's going to enjoy it. It's a loss of yard, and it's 3rd and 14 for the Douglas Patriots. And it's a big third down. And again, where you're sitting at too, even if it's 4th and 15 at this point, you're probably going to go for it here because of where you're at on the 39-yard line.
Yeah, and again, this is a game where field possession really doesn't mean a whole lot, because like we said earlier, once you get inside that 40-yard line, you're probably in 4-down territory.
3rd and 14, and it looks like the Governors jumped. Preston Taylor might, and along with Gunnar Gary, might have both jumped on that hard count from the Douglas Patriots. And that'll push them up 5 yards. So that's a big play to get those 5 yards back that the Patriots lost in the delay of game. So it's now 3rd and 9 here for Douglas.
Yeah, and again, you saw just as soon as both Taylor and Gearing jumped on that play, you could see they knew that the penalty was going to be on the Governor. No movement on the Douglas offensive line, and so the Governors went from 3rd and 14 to 3rd and 9. Now that's almost if you're in 4-down territory, that's manageable for the Patriots.
They'll play action. They're going to hand off to the left side, going trying to end around with Peyton DeWitt's, and DeWitt's going to get nearly back to the line of scrimmage, a little bit past the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down. It will be manageable here for Douglas, but it's going to be 4th down and around 6 for Douglas.
Yeah, and I was afraid that Cord Ellis might come out of there just a little bit gimpy, because he came in to assist on the tackle out of his safety position, and when he did, he hit helmets with another Governor tackler and took the brunt of that. But luckily he got a hand from one of the other Governor defenders and was able to pop up and doesn't seem to be the worse for wear on the play.
6 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Machechuk might be taking a second time out here, and I believe he is going to take that second time out because Severson was not making his way over to the huddle. So it's 5:58 to go here in the first half. Douglas has a 4th and 6 from the Pierre 29-yard line. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back to Hollister Field, snowy Thursday evening. Don't want to get ahead of myself here. We are not here at the weekend yet. The one of 2 weeks we'll play on Thursday night. We'll have next Thursday be here at Pierre, and it'll be against either Huron or Mitchell, the loser of that game that is being played starting here in just a couple of minutes at that 7 o'clock hour. So we're, as Greg said, one of the few 6 o'clock start times that aren't a playoff game. A lot of playoff games were starting around 6 o'clock. There's a lot of playoff games that aren't starting until tomorrow now.
Yeah, just a couple of quick score updates. Late in the second quarter, Stanley County and McCook Central Montrose tied at 6. Winner all over Garrettson 40-0. Late in the second quarter, 40-0. Castlewood, a little bit of a surprise, leading Gregory 26-8, middle of the third quarter, and Lyman has defeated Burke 36-16.
4th and 6 from the 29 from under center. Severson, he's going to look to pass. He's going to roll to his right. He's going to throw, and it's going to be short, and it's going to fall incomplete as Josh Rouse got over there to knock down Severson, and it's going to be first down for the Governors, their second time that the Governor defense has stood tall on a 4th down play.
Yeah, and again, just a blitz coming from Rouse out of his middle linebacker position, able to bring some heavy pressure on Severson. And the first time that Severson was back to pass tonight, and he was under duress and was not able to get anything behind that ball, and just threw it short of his intended receiver, Jason Machachuk, the fullback, about 10 yards downfield.
A toss for McGuire Rasky to the right side. Rasky going to try and get to the sideline. He's going to be wrapped up and then hit out of bounds. And McGuire Rasky got a good pickup of that first down run. That was just the 8th play for the Governors here tonight. They've had to run 7 plays in the first quarter, and we're halfway through the second quarter, and they have not yet hit 10 plays in this game.
Yeah, and so time of possession, big time in favor of the Douglas Patriots so far tonight. 5:47 to go here in the second quarter, and Governors just really have not had the ball.
Gain of 6 for Rasky on that first down run, 2nd and 4, and a flag will come in, and it looks like maybe a false start penalty on Pierre. It looked like maybe the center was, now they're looking over, and it's going to be an encroachment penalty on Douglas. So a 5-yard penalty. It's going to be a first down for Pierre. So pick up those 5 yards and give him a first down for Pierre, and that's a big first down, and maybe get this offense moving a little bit. They did have that first down last drive, but here they get a penalty to give them a first down. Maybe that will help them get moving here. They still trail 7-0 with 5:47 to go here in the first half. 1st and 10 from now the 40-yard line. From the shotgun, a handoff for McGuire Rasky. He'll cut it inside through the middle of the offensive line. And McGuire Rasky's got a gain of about 8 on that first down run. And it'll be 2nd and short for Pierre.
Yeah, and just an inside handoff that Rasky takes over the left side and is able to find good yardage, good positive yardage. And again, Governor running game is finding some success tonight, something they've done well so far this year. They just haven't had a chance to exploit it so far tonight.
2nd and 2 from the 48. Handoff for Rasky again. He'll stutter step. He'll get through that first offensive line and into the secondary, and he'll carry a couple of Patriots with him past the 40-yard line to around the 38 in Douglas territory. A big run for McGuire Rasky, and it's first down for Pierre.
And one of the things that we have seen out of McGuire Rasky so far this year is he does not go down on first contact. It took about three Douglas Patriots to bring him down after he got first contact, and still picked up about 9 yards after that first defender got to him.
And on the first down run for Rasky, the Governors are kind of pick up the pace here. He'll pick up a couple of yards, a gain of 4 on that first down run. And the Governors, they haven't liked to go too quick here so far this year, but right now they're going to pick up the tempo a little bit. 2nd and 6 from the 34, 4:40 to go here in the first half, and Douglas is going to go with an encroachment penalty again, and it'll bring up 2nd and 1 as they get inside the 30-yard line now.
Yeah, and this is a big drive for the Governors. 4:39 left to go in the second quarter. They've got the momentum kind of leaning their way a little bit on this drive. If they can come out of here with a score, with a touchdown, tie this ball game up, and get the game tied before halftime, and then get the ball to start the second half, that'll be a big momentum swing for the Governors.
So 2nd and 1 from the 29-yard line, and now the Governors will take their time getting that play call from Coach Steele. 4:24 to go. They will receive the second half kickoff, so I don't think you're going to take 4 minutes off the clock to try and score. Bergman will go in motion to the left side. A toss for Rasky going to that left side to try and get to the far sideline, and he's going to maybe pick up a couple of yards. He might have actually lost a little bit on that 2nd and 1 run, and it's going to bring up 3rd down here. He's going to go back to the 30-yard line. Might have lost a yard. And it's 3rd down and 2 here for Pierre.
Yeah, and just a pitch play. Bruggeman with the shuffle motion towards the far sidelines across the face of the offensive line, and Rasky was just never able to get to the edge and cut it upfield. And now the Governors are facing 3rd and short at the Patriot 30-yard line.
From the pistol, the receiver here on the near sideline for the Governors. Lincoln Keenholz will tell the new play to the offensive line, get everybody reset. Hand off for Rasky right up the middle. He's got enough for a first down. He's going to cut it to the 25, to the 20. McGuire Rasky will get thrown out of bounds as he's got enough for a first down. And Pierre has got it inside the red zone, as it'll be around gain of 14. It'll be inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and Rasky got run out of bounds and shoved right into the snowbank over on the Douglas sideline, and just one of the hazards of playing in the Snow Bowl tonight.
First and 10 from the 16-yard line. 4:04 left to go here in the first half. Handoff for McGuire Rasky again up the middle. And Rasky will kind of carry a couple of guys with him, and he'll pick up a good chunk of yards on that first down run. And he'll get inside the 15-yard line to around a gain of 4 to the 12. And
just inside the 10-yard line.
McGuire Rasky, he's got 68 yards on 9 carries. He's going to pick things up here on this drive. He's so far on this drive, he's got the ball 7 different times. He's had every single play has gone to him so far. He'll get another handoff. He'll cut to the left side. Rasky trying to get to the end zone. He is in for a Governor touchdown with 3:28 to go. A gain of 10 for McGuire Rasky. And the Governors are an extra point away from tying it up with 3:28 to go in the first half.
Yeah, just a really nice drive by the Governor offense. Kind of maintained and took back control of the trenches on that drive. A lot of credit to that offensive line, just being able to get on their blocks, and on that play, Rasky with the direct handoff, and then found a hole and was able to bounce to the far sideline, and then it was just a race to the pylon, and Rasky gets in from 10 yards out with 3:28 to go, and like you said, we're an extra point away from being tied.
And Karsten Miller will be that man to try and tie it up. One of the seniors, senior night here tonight for this Pierre Governor team. Lincoln Keenels will be the holder. A good snap. The kick is up from Miller, and it goes off the uprights, and it is no good. So the Governors trail 7-6 with 3:28 to go here in the first half. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. An 8-play drive went for a McGuire Rasky touchdown run, as he has now gotten 23 touchdowns on the ground. You're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And with 3:28 left to go in this first half, the Governors, they might be trailing here at the break to this Douglas team.
Yeah, and again, but I think it's important, even though they were not able to tie the score, just being able to come back, establish the line of scrimmage, gain that momentum back to the green and black, I think was big for the Governors right here. Now the last thing that the Governors want is to give up any kind of a score going into halftime. Ideally, what they'd like to do is create a 3 and out, get the ball back, maybe give themselves a chance to score right before halftime.
Karsten Miller on the kickoff, all the way down towards that 10-yard line, and as we taken up the middle for Douglas, still on his feet. Karsten Miller is the last man to try and tackle him. He slows him up, but Douglas will get it all the way past the 50-yard line. And what a big run for the Douglas Patriots, as it was Peyton DeWitt that got the return. And Karsten Miller, if it wasn't for him slowing him up, he was going to take it all the way to the house.
Yeah, and again, a nice job by Miller to stay back and be the safety valve, because he actually, even though he doesn't get credited with the open field tackle, like you said, he was able to get enough of a hit and slow DeWitt down to the point where the pursuit was able to carry him and get him from the backside.
First and 10 from the 45-yard line. A handoff for Clark, going straight up the middle, and Clark will get a couple of yards as he's brought down by that Governor defensive line. And it'll be second and around 7 yards, again a 3 for Clark. He's got 56 yards so far here this evening on 9 carries. 77 yards for Severson and 3 yards for DeWitt. That's all the offense. They have 0 passing yards, but Pierre's only got 10 passing yards. So as we kind of expected, this is a run-first game, and it will be going to the second half as well, with only 2:45 left to go in this first half. Second and 7 from the 42 from the I formation. Severson, he'll drop the ball again, and he'll have to fall on top of it. Coach Machachak, if he didn't want to keep that play call card, he would have thrown it on the ground, but he was moving that card around a lot as he lost a yard to Clark. And it'll be third down and 8 for Douglas.
Yeah, Coach Machachuk visibly upset on the Douglas sideline. He's got a towel that he hands to Severson every time he comes over to get the quarterback comes over to get the play call, and Maciejczuk was definitely upset, waving that towel around a couple of different times after that ball hit the ground.
3rd and 8 from the 43. Man goes in motion. That's DeWitt. A toss to the left side. A flag will come flying in. A first down for Douglas, and it's going to be more all the way to the end zone. And Clark's got another touchdown, but there is a flag in the line of scrimmage. And if that's on Douglas, that wipes it out. If it's on Pierre, Pierre's got themselves in a bad spot. We're going to have a talk about this with the officials. And if it's on the Governor, or if it's on Douglas, which most of the time that's where it's going to be, some kind of a hold on Douglas is going to drop them all the way back and take away that touchdown, and that's absolutely going to be on Douglas. So that will wipe off the touchdown from the Patriots, and it'll keep it a 7-6 game. It'll be 3rd down and very long now for the Patriots.
Yeah, and there's 2 different flags on the play, and you presume they are on the with the same infraction.
As they're still talking about it, and I think they're asking which one Steele wants to accept, as it'll be a block in the back on Douglas, as that penalty is declined, and a hold on Douglas that will be accepted. So it'll be drop him back 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and it's 3rd down and very long for Douglas. They're going to go back into their own territory, right around their own 45-yard line here for this 3rd down and long play for Douglas. Around 3rd and 20 from the pistol formation. Severson is going to roll to his right. He's going to keep a design run. Severson's going to be dropped right around midfield, and Coach Steele's going to take a timeout. And now we're at the 50-yard line, and with the gain, with about 4th and 15 here, you're going to punt the ball away, and Pierre will have themselves a golden opportunity with 2 timeouts to try and take the lead here before halftime.
Yeah, and it's a strategy we've seen a lot out of Coach Steele to save those timeouts and utilize them late in the second quarter, and when the opponent has the ball, to try to stop the clock and get the ball back before halftime, give your offense a little opportunity to work. We've not seen Douglas punt the ball yet tonight, and so this will be a first. And again, the middle of the field between the hash marks is getting pretty well chewed up, and you got to wonder about the kicking game tonight, and especially in that second half, how is that going to play into this game tonight?
So now we'll see. Douglas has not punted the ball yet here tonight. They had a touchdown on their first drive, and their other 2 drives have been turnover on downs as they've been inside the 30-yard line for those 2 possessions that they turned the ball over on downs. The Governors have punted the ball away their 2 times, other than the touchdown that they just scored not too long ago. Both teams will get 4 possessions here in the first half, and that's the game Douglas likes to play. That's why we saw a 7-7 tie going into halftime between Yankton and Douglas, because this offensive line, the methodical drive that Douglas has, just wears teams down, not even wears them down, just stays out on the field where the offense can't get out and try and score points. There'll be a punt here for the Douglas Patriots. With 1:44 left to go, I believe Trey Lewis is back deep for the Governors, as actually it's going to be for Pierre, Jaden Wiebe that is back deep for Pierre. So on the snap, and they're going to rugby style on the punt, and it's going to go out of bounds. And actually, it stayed almost nearly in play, and it just died out there on the side. Almost like Australian rules football for you, Greg. Your new favorite sports.
Oh, yeah, I love Australian rules football. Just kind of that rugby style kick, and again, something that you got to defend because Severson, the punter, just kind of runs to his right, and I think he probably has the green light. If he sees an opening, he can probably just pull it down and go. As long as he's behind the line of scrimmage, he can still kick that ball. So he's kind of got a, I don't know, what do you call it, a run punt option? Would that be an RPO, and only in a different sense?
the other RPO. As Lincoln Keenold from the empty backfield, he's going to have to roll to his right. Staves on his feet as he started to slip down. He had a receiver open, but Keenold will tiptoe the sideline, and Keenold will take off as he'll get hit out of bounds right around the 45-yard line, and he got hit out of bounds late. It'll be a flag that's coming in, and the Governors will get another 15 yards on the big run from Lincoln Keenold from the 20-yard line all the way to around the 45, I believe it is. And it'll be a gain of 25 for Keenold and tack on another 15 for the Governors.
Yeah, and Keenold's not staying in the pocket very long. He was able to get to the near side and was able to get to the edge. Logan Huber, the 5'10", 155-pound sophomore cornerback for Douglas, came up to apply some pressure, but Keno's able to sidestep him, and like you said, tiptoed the sidelines. Was able to pick up about an extra 15 yards after he got by Huber, and then as he went out of bounds, took a big hit from one of the Patriot defenders, and that resulted in a late hit penalty and a personal foul, and the Governors are now in prime position at the Douglas 40 with 1:28 and 2 timeouts left to go right before halftime.
I'll say Keno's got out of bounds. The penalty helps out, and it all keeps the clock stopped so the Governors can keep that second timeout or those 2 timeouts. And Coach Machachok will take his final timeout here with 1:28 left to go in the first half, maybe trying to rally his troops to try and get a defensive stop, because when you look at it and know the offense that Pierre can have, by the time the Douglas Patriots get the ball again, they could be down by 2 scores because of this Pierre team can go easily take that first possession of the second half down for a touchdown.
Yeah, and the Governors for the first time tonight, before that timeout was taken, went 4 wide. First time we've seen that tonight. Went 2 wide on each side with the tight end, and probably going to throw 5 into the pattern, something that we've seen a lot out of this Governor team, just haven't seen it tonight with these conditions.
There's 1:28 left to go here in the first half, and again, this is the final regular season game as things shake out. So the Yankton Brookings are fighting for that 1 and 2 seed, really fighting for the 1 seed. They don't want to lose to be the 2 seed. Mitchell and Huron are fighting for the 5th seed. The loser of that game will be coming here next week, as Pierre will be the 3 seed, taking on either Mitchell or Huron, whatever that might be. And they've got started around 10 minutes ago. So as we get to halftime, they're really starting that game, and we'll have some good score updates for you during halftime.
Yeah, no score midway through the first quarter, Mitchell Huron, and no score early in the first quarter between Yankton and Brookings. Across the river in Fort Pierre, Stanley County leads McCook Central Montrose 14-6 at the half.
1:28 to go here in the first half between Pierre and Douglas. 1st and 10 from the Douglas 40-yard line. The Governors are driving, looking to take their first lead of the ball game. From the pistol formation, Lincoln Keno's will dump it off for McGuire. Rasky will make the catch on the screen pass. He's going to try and cut from the near side, maybe go for the far side of the field, but he's going to be wrapped up. He's going to lose yards as he couldn't get anything moving forward. And now the Governors are going to have to try and move a little bit quicker here. They're going to lose about 3 yards on that pass from Keno's to McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, nice play by Tyler Clark for the Patriots out of his linebacker position, able to run down Rasky from behind, and if Rasky gets to the corner, able to cut outside. He's got a lot of room to run over on the far sideline.
Keno's will throw downfield looking for Bolwig. He's got him for the catch. No, he dropped it. Reagan Bolwig, the short hands, drops it, and it's 3rd down and 13 for the Governors. It was a touchdown. It's Pater for Reagan Bolwig if he makes the catch. And one that's maybe chalk up on the weather. Reagan Bolwig will not chalk it up to the weather, but if it's a dry day, there's no chance that Bolwig drops that ball.
Yeah, we talked about in the pregame, we're going to see some things we don't see normally, and that's definitely something you don't see is Reagan Bolwig drop a pass wide open with room to run.
3rd and 13 here from the 42, 45 seconds to go. Quick throw from McGuire. Rasky threw it too high. From Lincoln Keno's. Rasky got a hand on it, and it's going to be a 4th down. And the Governors, now where you're sitting at, it's going to be, you don't count out Steve Steele to go for it here on 4th and 13 for the 42 with 44 seconds left. And you probably say, if we don't get it, we like our chances with the defense to get a stop in the last 40 seconds of this first half. So I believe the Governors are going to go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, and again, I think that's the right move to go for it on 4th down. The defense has actually played pretty well after that first drive when they gave up the touchdown to the Patriots.
4th and 13, empty backfield here for Keno's. He's going to look to pass. He's going to throw it downfield, looking to the sideline for Merkwan. That's going to be a flag coming in, and it will be a pass interference, and the Governors are going to stay on the field. Jack Merkwan, he's trying to come back toward the ball. He got tackled out of bounds, and an easy pass interference call is going to be made, and the Governors are going to stay on the field, and it's going to be 1st and 10 on a 4th and 13, 15-yard penalty to pick up that 1st down.
Yeah, and a ball that was underthrown, and I think that was DeWitt. Peyton DeWitt for the Patriots that the infraction is called on. A ball that was underthrown, and as Merkwan tried to come back to try to make the catch, DeWitt just went right into him, and Merkwan had no chance to come back and come through DeWitt, and so the Governors get a break. 38 seconds to go right before halftime. They got the ball in the Patriot 27.
1st and 10 from the 27. Knowles will look to throw again. He'll throw over the middle. The catch is made near the 5-yard line, and it'll be first down here for the Governors. As does Jack Merkwan this time to make the catch, as he was not interfered with. As it'll be 1st and goal here for Pierre with 31 seconds to go. Gain of 22 for Merkwan. And it's 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for Pierre. As a handoff for Rasky, he's going to try and find his way, trying to get to the end zone. He was wrapped up, he got through, and McGuire Rasky's in the end zone for a touchdown. McGuire Rasky, his second touchdown of the ball game, and it's 12-7 with 18 seconds to go for the Governors.
So now the question is, do the Governors go for 1 or 2 right here? And I don't see Karsten Miller on the field. I suspect the Governors are going for 2 to try to get this to a 7-point ball game.
And they will be going for that 2-point conversion. 18 seconds to go here in the first half. Aaron Booth will be split out to the far side. Merkwan here the near side. Bergman will go to the right side on the line as McGuire Rasky with the toss. He's going to try and get in. Is he going to get it in? He is. McGuire Rasky gets in with a 2-point conversion. And it's 14-7 for the Governors with 18 to go here in the first half. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Six-play, 80-yard drive for the Pierre Governors. It was a 5-yard touchdown run for McGuire Rasky, and the Pierre Governors with a 2-point conversion from Rasky now lead 14-7 with 18 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Quick score update around 11 AA. Brookings now leads Yankton 7-0 middle of the first quarter. Mitchell and Huron still scoreless late in the first quarter, and Spearfish has struck first out in Sturgis. The Spartans lead the Scoopers 7-0 early in the first quarter.
As it'll be 18 seconds to go, Carson Miller will tee it up and kick it deep for the Governors. And they just got to hold Douglas here for the next 18 seconds who have no timeout. So they're going to, whatever run play they have, maybe they'll try and throw it for, try and pick up some yards. But they might even just take a knee on it and go to halftime down by 7. A squib kick for Carson Miller. It'll be fielded. The Douglas Patriots were on the ground when they fielded it, so that no touch, once the knee's on the ground, you are down, as Logan Huber was the man that was on it. So it'll be 1st and 10 with 17 seconds to go from the 22-yard line, and we'll see what Douglas wants to do. If you're the Patriots and you don't have that pass game, and especially in a night like this, you might just say, let's take a knee, let's go to halftime, let's try and figure out how we can stop this Pierre team on that first drive. We'll give a chance to tie it up. As it'll be from under center, it will be Severson. And he will hand off for Clark. And Clark on the right side, he'll be wrapped up, and he'll go down, and that should be enough with no timeouts for Maciejczak. That should end the first half, as we got 5 seconds to go. Gain of about 2 or 3 for Clark. And that will take us to the end of the first half. The Governors trailed 7-0 in the first quarter, but they now lead 14-7 here at the break. Back in 3 minutes with halftime stats. Listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister, it is a 14-7 lead for the Pierre Governors here at the break. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, before we get into some of the score updates around the state, Pierre Governors right now are the Douglas Patriots are actually outgaining the Pierre Governors 143-110 in the first half, but it is what the scoreboard shows. It's the most important thing, and that's a 14-7 lead for Pierre.
Yeah, almost a tale of two quarters. The Patriots really controlled the entire first quarter. Took the first drive, bit 70 yards and in a handful of plays, and just really looked like they were gonna just establish a really strong run game tonight. And for the most part they have. And then the Governors came out and just really struggled, like a couple of 3 and outs, and just didn't do well in the first couple of possessions. And then the script kind of flipped in the second quarter. Governors took control, and especially in the middle of that second quarter, Governors were able to put together a drive, 10-yard touchdown run by McGuire Rasky, gets the game to 7-6, and then right before halftime, the Governor defense rises up, forces the Patriots to punt, a big run from Lincoln Keenholz, and then the personal foul, the late hit penalty, added tack 15 yards onto that, and all of a sudden the Governors end up with about a 40-yard play out of the first play of that drive, and then just a whole lot of McGuire Rasky after that, and the Governors go into halftime with a 14-7 lead.
Yeah, Keenholz is right now 4 for 7 for 29 yards, and that's the only passing stat that we have, as Rasky caught 3 passes for 7 yards, and Jack Merquan's got a catch for 22 yards. But that pass interference call was the difference in that drive, because it was a 4th and 13 play that Merquan was interfered with, and it took him to that 15-yard penalty, gave him a first down, and 2 quick plays after that, and they were in the end zone.
Yeah, and that's something I'm sure that Coach Machaychuk is probably talking about to the Patriots in the locker room right now, and the fact that they should not have probably given up that touchdown right before halftime. I mean, those 2 big 15-yard penalties are the difference between allowing the Governors to score with less than a minute to go in the first half, or keeping them out of the end zone. And so if you're Coach Machaychuk, you're probably not real happy right now the way this second quarter ended, and the fact that the Governors get the ball to start the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's the difference here, is that they were able to run one play, did Douglas, and they have to give the ball right back to Pierre now to start this third quarter. And when they finally get another possession, it might be a 2-score game. And for Douglas, they don't want to be in any 2-score games. They want to be within 1 score all game long, because the offense that they have just can't really sustain multiple drives to try and tie that game up, trailing by more than 1 score.
Yeah, and we've talked about just the size of the Patriot offensive line. This is just a very, very methodical Douglas offense. I mean, they like to run behind this offensive line that averages about 285 pounds. The lightest guy on the offensive line is the left guard, Thomas Holyrock, who checks in at 240 pounds. Otherwise, it's 300, 260, 300, and 270. And then you add in Jason Machaychuk, a converted offensive lineman at the fullback position, who is probably the biggest fullback I've ever seen at 295 pounds, and there's a lot of beef up there. I mean, they can really, on a night like this, probably just about have their way in controlling the offensive line. But the Governor defense has done a nice job so far after that first quarter, after that first drive.
And again, after tonight, the Governors will know who they will play in the first round of the Class 11 AA playoffs. They'll be the 3 seed. They'll take on the 6 seed. And you have some state playoff scores right now for us, Greg.
I do. We'll give you every score of games that are going on right now, except for maybe a couple in 11 AAA late in the first half. Sioux Falls Roosevelt all over Sioux Falls Washington, 37-0. In Rapid City, Sioux Falls Lincoln leads Rapid City Central 51-0 late in the first half. In Sturgis and Spearfish tied at 7 midway through the first quarter. A game we're watching closely because it will determine who comes to Pierre next week in the first round of the playoffs. Huron and Mitchell still scoreless early in the second quarter, and Brookings now leads Yankton 14-0 late in the first quarter. In 11A, Vermilion leads Lennox 7-0. Del Rapids leads T 7-0. Dakota Valley over Tri Valley 3-0. Canton over West Central 6-0. And Custer leads Belfouche 7-0. All those games in the first quarter. In 11B, these are playoff scores. Stanley County and McCook Central Montrose tied at 14 early in the third quarter. Winter and Garrettson are at halftime. Winter leads that game 40-0. Elk Point Jefferson 20. Mount Vernon Plankington 6. Sioux Valley leads Chamberlain 16-0 late in the first quarter, and Bridgewater Emory Ethan leads Lee Deadwood at halftime 40-0. In 9AA, Viborg Hurley 8, Parker 0. Parkston trails Hanson 8-0. Dual and Florence Henry are scoreless. Hamlin 22, Clark Willow Lake nothing. Platte Geddes leads Bonham 6-0 midway through the first quarter, and Arlington Lake Preston over Baltic 6-0 early in the second quarter. In 9A, and again, remember, a number of games have been postponed because of the weather into tomorrow. Castlewood, in a bit of a surprise, leads Gregory, 32-14 early in the fourth quarter. Howard leads to Smith 7-0 late in the first quarter. Canastota Freeman 16, Chester 0 late in the first quarter. In our first final of the night, Lyman has defeated Burke 36-16 in 9B. 2 forfeits earlier today. Corsica Stickney gets the forfeit from Esteline Hendricks, the number 17 seed who subbed in to take Avon's place. That game was a forfeit. Corsica Stickney wins that 1-0, and then Del Rapids St. Mary's gets a forfeit from Bison. So both Corsica Stickney and Del Rapids St. Mary's advance on into the second round of the playoffs. And then the other score that we have right now out of 9B, Coleman Egan at halftime leads Alcester Hudson 26-12.
That's a rundown of all South Dakota State games here for Week 9 and into the first round of the Class 11B and all 9-man playoffs. And DT Meyer will have a game over in Phillip tomorrow evening between Phillip and Timberlake. He'll have that one on Country 95.3 and PureCountry.com for that 9A playoff game. So, and that should be a really good game between those two teams here tonight. And maybe a little bit of surprise to some, but with this Douglas team, they're in a lot of their ball games, especially in the first half. And maybe the final scores don't show the way that they want to, but the first half is always good for this Douglas team. And right now, a defensive stop here to open up the third quarter, and they can find themselves in a tie ball game here midway through this third quarter.
Yeah, and what happened last week was down in Yankton. Douglas had Yankton tied. I mean, Douglas, a one-win team, had the undefeated Yankton Bucks tied at halftime 7-7, and then Yankton returned the opening kickoff of the second half for a touchdown, and then Yankton kind of got their footing from there. But Yankton was on the ropes for 24 minutes, and so this Douglas team, we talked about it in the pregame, is a team that just you don't want to go to sleep on, because they can be very methodical. They're very physical. We talked about their size. They're going to be a team that depending on who the number 2 seed is, because in all likelihood Douglas will end up as the number 7 seed. So they will either have to travel in all likelihood to either Brookings or Yankton next week. Not going to be an easy game for whoever has to play Douglas.
And the Governors, they lead 14-7 here at the break. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, come back with more halftime. You're listening to Pure Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, John Wickler alongside Greg Dean as the Governors, they lead 14-7 here at halftime. Greg, going into the second half, really, I mean, what can you change for either side? What can you change? Because with the mess that the field has been in, just because of all the snow, it's hard to really make any kind of adjustments.
Yeah, and I think for the Governors, I think we just, you go back to what got them here, and that's just a whole lot of McGuire Rasky. I mean, when Rasky didn't touch the ball for the first time until late in the first quarter, the Governors went 3 and out on all pass plays in their first drive, and so after Rasky started carrying the ball, and he ends up with 11 carries for 88 yards,
85 yards,
85 yards in the first half. When Rasky started touching the ball, the Governor started finding some success. So the saying, and I'll paraphrase the saying we use at our house, if the Governors want to win, you put McGuire Rasky in. So I think that's the secret for the Governors. For Douglas, what I think they got to do is just go back to that very physical, very methodical run game. I mean, and they saw a lot of success when David Severson, the quarterback, just on the direct snap on the keepers, going off tackle. He's got some speed, and man, he runs hard. He's not very big, but he doesn't go down on first contact. And so for Douglas, we may see them go back to that kind of ground and pound game for the Patriots to find some success. But again, this is going to be old style physical. This is going to be who wears down first in the second half, because it's just going to be a very physical second half.
Governors lead 14-7 here at the break, as we'll be back in a minute for kickoff of the second half. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here at Hollister Field, getting set for the second half. The Governors will receive the second half kickoff. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean, as Douglas is taking their time over here. There's not much time left before we start the second half, and they've come out. They didn't even go in the locker room. They just stayed out near the end zone over there. But the Governors, they're going to be looking for a quick, maybe not so much a quick drive, just a scoring drive to put themselves up by 2 scores against this Douglas team and put some separation against this Patriots team, looking for their 6th win of the season.
Yeah, and again, the Governors really did a nice job in the second quarter of just taking back control of the line of scrimmage. The offensive line, we've talked a lot about them this year. They have done a very nice job. And again, they're outsized tonight. I mean, something that you just don't see a lot of during the year, but they're outsized tonight. And so I think maybe it took a little bit of a period of time to just kind of make an adjustment and find some tactics that allowed them to succeed. But once they got that figured out, the run game began to get some feet underneath it, and then the Patriots kind of shot themselves in the foot on that last drive with those 2 big major penalties that gave the Governors 30 extra yards in that last drive right before halftime. So again, we'll go back to that pregame conversation. Whichever team makes the fewest mistakes, and we haven't had a turnover yet. We've seen balls on the ground, but we have not had a turnover yet. So a little bit of a surprise in that regard.
It'll be McGuire Rasky and Brock Mosier back deep for the Pierre Governors, as they will kick it off deep. Will the Patriots? Severson has got it teed up. We're just about set for the start of the second half, as the Governors will go from left to right. The ball falls off the tee. So before we actually go, and I think they're going to give it one more try at it before Machachok will. Excuse me, that's not Machachok. That is Tucker Paris. That may be the guy holding the ball on the tee for Severson. So here is the first kick of the kickoff for the start of the second half. It'll be taken on a hop from McGuire Rasky. And McGuire Rasky will go straight up the middle. He's going to go all the way. McGuire Rasky on the kickoff for the Pierre Governors will take it all the way to the house. And the Governors lead 20-7. 12 seconds into the third quarter.
Governors.
Yeah, and just the same thing that happened to Douglas last year, coming out of halftime, gave up a kickoff return touchdown, and now Douglas finds themselves down 2 scores with just 12 seconds into the third quarter, and that's just got to be absolutely demoralizing to the Patriots. On the other side of the ball, you couldn't have asked for a better start for the Governors here in this third quarter to go up hopefully by 14. Karsten Miller on to attempt the extra point, but if the Governors can go up by 14 here and then force the Patriots to give up the ball in fairly quick fashion, the Governors will really be in business here early in the third quarter.
Christian Bush came on late for the Governors, but he is part of that offensive line to try and get the block for the successful extra point. The kick is up from Miller, and that one is going to go just barely over the crossbar. And it's 21-7 for the Pierre Governors, 12 seconds into the third quarter. Back in 30 seconds, you listen to Pierre Governor football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. So McGuire Rasky takes it all the way to the house on the opening kickoff of the second half. And, the Pierre Governors were looking to go up by 2 scores, and they're up by 2 scores, 21-7 here, 12 seconds into this third quarter. And now the Douglas Patriots, the only good thing for the Patriots now is that only 12 seconds come off the clock, so they can take as much time as they need. They can take the whole third quarter. Just need one more stop if they can score to try and tie the game up.
Yeah, and again, that's the one silver lining for Douglas is that there's still almost 24 minutes left in this game, and so that certainly plays into their favor. But for as methodical as they are, they probably need to get some points out of this opening drive in the third quarter, not just to tighten up the score, but to just kind of gain that momentum back.
A squib kick, and Douglas again will field it on a knee, so it'll be down right around the 35-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Douglas, and for Severson, he's going to find a way to get this offense going here. Again, not necessarily has to go fast, but they can't afford to put the ball on the ground anymore. And again, at some point, they're not going to get that ball back when the ball gets on the ground. 1st and 10 for the 35-yard line from under center I formation here for Severson. He will hand off for Clark. He's going to try and bounce it out to the left tackle. Clark's still on his feet. He's going to try and get to the corner, and he's tripped up. And it'll be a gain of about 6 or 7 as Josh Rouse will be the one to trip him up. And a gain of 7 for Clark, and it's 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and if Rouse does not literally make that ankle tackle, Clark may go 65 yards to the house. But a nice play by Rouse to just trip him up as Clark was cutting to the sidelines, and in all likelihood probably made a touchdown saving tackle.
2nd and 3 from the 42. From under center, man in the backfield. False start penalty is going to be coming up on Douglas, one of the offensive linemen who their numbers are all over the place. Or I guess not really all over the place, just covered up in a whole bunch of dirt. As it is going to be on Malik Amenhozi. As 2nd and 8 from the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and Ahmed Hosey just flinched just a fraction of a second before that ball was snapped, but just enough to catch the lineman's eye. And we saw the same thing up here. And so because of that, the Patriots now find themselves in second and long, and fortunately for them. And again, Douglas has done a nice job running the ball tonight, and we'll see if the Governor defense can stiffen up and try to force a 3-and-out here.
And they go with the reverse to the left side, as it will be for first down, and the tackle continued all the way into I believe, as is going to be Clark on the carry on the revert on the end around. And again, enough for a first down for Douglas. And again, it's hard to figure out where the numbers are because they are all brown right now.
We talked to Brian Mosier, the Pierre athletic director, before the game. He said, we have used every different color kind of paint to try to mark the lines tonight, and nothing has helped. Nothing has worked.
Handoff up handoff up the middle for Douglas for Clark, as he'll pick up a couple of yards. And it'll be a second down and around 7 or 6 for the Patriots.
Yeah, and Tyler Clark, the 5'8", 165-pound senior running back, again, not real big, but again, young man who runs hard and doesn't go down on first contact. And so, again, this Douglas Patriot offense is moving the ball here early in the third quarter.
2nd and 6 from the 49-yard line. Handoff up the middle again. This one is for DeWitt, and DeWitt will take it to the 50-yard line, past the 50-yard line, and a gain of about 3 for DeWitt, and it's third down and manageable here for the Douglas Patriots, calling it 3rd and long 3 for Douglas.
Yeah, and again, if you're Douglas, I mean, you're down 2 scores. You're on the Governor. You're in Governor territory. This might almost be 4-down territory.
3rd and 3 from the 46-yard line. A handoff again for Clark. He's going to try and bounce his way to a first down, and he will have enough for a first down, as there'll be a gain of about 4 for Clark, and it's first down, and the Patriots will keep the chains moving here on their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and again, just nothing fancy, just an inside handoff running between the tackles, and the Patriots keep moving the chains.
1st and 10 for the 42, 9:35 to go here in the third quarter. Pearson dropped the ball. He's able to pick it back up. Clark, he will be wrapped up, and he will be dropped back for a big loss. As Severson was still able to hand the ball off to Clark, and Coach Machachuk again waving that towel around. He is not happy with how Severson has been handling the ball from his center.
Yeah, and that's almost a play where would have been better off just picking the ball up and trying to get something on his own. Instead he tried to make something work, and by the time that he is able to pick the ball up and hand the ball to the running back, the timing is all disrupted, and the Governor linebackers had opportunities to shoot through the gaps and really disrupt that play and threw the running back down for a loss of about 4.
2nd and 13, handoff, and getting nothing again is going to be Clark. He might have lost his footing, as he's going to maybe lose a yard back. It's 3rd down and 14 now for the Patriots. Backwards here. And again, it still might be 4-down territory here, where you're sitting at and where you're at in this portion of the game with 8:24 to go in the third quarter. You may not think if you go down by 3 scores, you have enough to get back and try and tie it up. Severson's going to go to the air. He's going to throw. He's going to look for the fullback, Machachuk, and it's going to fall incomplete, but a flag is going to come in from the far side. As looks like it was Deacon Huska, maybe that was in coverage for the Governors.
Yeah, and I didn't quite see the play, but it's likely going to be a penalty on the Governors. I'm not quite sure what the call is going to be, but the way that the officials are lined up, this is going to be probably a major infraction against the Governors.
Pass interference from 24 of the defense. 15-yard penalty resulting in a first down.
So from 3rd and 14 to now 1st and 10 for the Douglas Patriots. Just like the Governors got a first down on a 4th and 13 pass interference call. It's a first down for the Patriots on a 3rd and 14 call. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line now. A handoff for Clark to the left side, gets outside the left tackle, and he is wrapped up in a good open field tackle for the Pierre Governors, as that was Josh Rouse that made that tackle again, tripping up the legs of Clark.
Yeah, and just that same play that the Patriots ran on first down on the prior series, just an off tackle play, and again, thankfully for the Governors, Josh Rouse comes shooting from his middle linebacker position and is able to drag Clark down from behind. Otherwise, he's got a lot of open running room here on the near sidelines.
2nd and 7 from the 28. As DeWitt will go in motion, Severson will take it to the left side. He's going to try and sneak through, but he's going to go for a couple of yards. And a good job there by that Governor defense. And, Jace Beestrom was over there first. If he doesn't recognize that play, Severson kind of slipped through and find his way maybe to an end zone.
Yeah, and that's the same play that Severson scored on the first drive. Just they send the slot guy in motion to the opposite side of the field and kind of distract the Governor defense, and then Severson kind of sneaks through a gap on the near side, and Jace Beestrom smelled that play out that time and kept it to just a short gain.
Severson will take it to the right side. He's going to try and follow Clark, and he's going to be hit as coming from all the way from the the near side of the field. Then Austin Foley, they got there first for the tackle.
Yeah, I think got some help from Colin Brueggemann as well, but again, the numbers are getting almost impossible to read from up here. This is really it's transitioning from the snow bowl into the mud bowl because the middle of that field is really getting churned up. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like next Thursday night when the Governors have that first round playoff game.
And they're going to lose a yard. We'll see. It'll be 4th and 4 from the 25-yard line, and Coach Machachok will probably take his first time out here. 6:15 left to go. And they just have not had anything yet. So now they're going to start, and I don't know what might have that call would have been, because the referee now said to start the clock again, but the clock had been running because it stayed in play the whole time. Either way, it's 4th and 4 here for the 25, and now we will get a whistle and a timeout for Douglas. And 5:56 to go. That was odd there. I didn't really see what might have happened to keep the play clock from starting for so long. But either way, now Douglas took a timeout. I mean, they had almost a minute and a half to get that play called, and they still didn't.
Yeah, and we'll go back to that previous play, and just a nice job by both Austin Foley and Colin Brueggemann to string that play out, and Severson just really never got going. I mean, he kept trying to head to the sidelines, trying to cut up at first daylight, and he just never had any daylight to cut up towards, and especially on a night like tonight where you got to put your foot in the ground and make that cut, that's really tough. And so the Governor defense did their job. Those linebackers did their job stringing that play out and never let Severson really get an idea of where he can make that cut upfield at. And so the Governors now find themselves in good position here on 4th and 4. But we have seen Douglas convert a couple of different times tonight on either 3rd and long or on 4th down.
4th and 4 from the 25-yard line, coming out of the timeouts. 5:56 to go here in the third quarter. This is a big play here for the Douglas Patriots. They're trying to score here to stay within one possession of the Pierre Governors, who took the opening kick nearly 80 yards for a touchdown. Severson dropped the football, and the Governors are going to pick it up. Either way, they were going to get the ball back, but the Governors will get the fumble, as I believe it was Jace Beestrom. And Severson is down right now after he got hit. He got hit hard as he tried to pick up that ball, and it'll be the trainer come out to look at Severson, but the Governors, Jace Beestrom, picked up the fumble, and it'll be a turnover, the first turnover we've seen here tonight from either side.
Yeah, and it'll officially go as a turnover on downs, not a fumble, but it was a bad snap that Severson tried to corral, and Severson is still down. He has not moved since that play was blown dead. If he is out for any extended period of time, that's going to be a huge blow to this Douglas Patriots offense and to both sides of the ball.
Yeah, 5:52 left to go here, and Severson's still down right now. We'll step aside for a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, I believe maybe it's Clark that's down instead of Severson, as he was able to sit up, and which is always a good sign, and now will start to make his way up. So it is Clark that was down for the Patriots, but he is back on his feet and walking by on his own power back to the sideline. So good to see that. But either way, you don't want to see that for anybody, but for Clark, Severson, whoever it might have been, obviously it is Clark, but those are two big guys that you don't want to lose for this Douglas team.
Yeah, and Clark has run the ball very effectively for the Patriots so far, and if he is out of the game for any extended period of time, they lose a key component of both their offense and their defense.
1st and 10 for the 30-yard line for the Pierre Governors, taking over after Jace Beecher picked up the fumble. As Lincoln Keenels on play action rolled to his right, he'll throw, and tipping and juggling was Colin Bergman. He can't make the catch and falls incomplete. Says that one, Bergman trying to make that acrobatic catch, and it'll be 2nd and 10 now for the 30-yard line. And Keenels now 4 for 8 for 29 yards so far in the ball game. It's a typical snow stat for a quarterback trying to pass the football, only 8 times so far as we have played halfway through this third quarter. 2nd and 10 for the 30, 5:45 left to go here in the third. Receiver on each side for the Governors from the pistol. A whistle will come in, a flag down. It looks like it'll be a false start on the Governors, pushing back 5 yards on the impending call from the official.
False start, 85 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Colin Bergman that got called for that false start penalty.
Yeah, just flinched just a bit, just right before the snap. But again, just enough movement to catch the eye of the linesman on the near side, and out came the laundry.
2nd and 15 for the 25-yard line. From the pistol again, handoff for Rasky. He'll slip through that offensive line. He's going to try and stiff arm a man. He's going to be thrown around, and Rasky will go down right around the 30-yard line or 35-yard line. Maybe picked up 10 there, did McGuire Rasky. Or maybe got back. Let's see. More gain 6. It's hard to see where exactly where that first chain is at and where he's actually going to be at. But Rasky nearing that century mark again, 91 yards. But it's 3rd down and 9. The Governors will empty the backfield here for Lincoln Keenels in the shotgun. He'll look to pass. He's going to have to roll to his left. He's trying to spin her off of a sack. He does. Keenels now will get tripped up by his own feet, maybe tripped up on the ground, and falls down. A big loss there. And again, if you're playing in the game that's 45 degrees and there's been no precipitation all game, Keenels is probably not falling at that point. Maybe he gets wrapped up earlier than that, but if he gets through, he's not falling down right there, but he loses 15 and it's 4th down and very long.
Yeah, and he actually did a nice job buying time in the pocket, and Douglas brought some pressure from the far side, and Keenel's able to evade that and was actually spinning around, coming back towards the near sidelines when there's just a big patch of mud down there around the 15-20 yard line, and that's what actually took him down. Wasn't a Douglas defender.
Good punt there from Keenels, but he fielded and trying to go straight up the middle, trying to fight forward as DeWitt, and Peyton DeWitt's got himself a pretty good return for the Douglas Patriots as he'll be inside Pierre Governor territory. There's your stop that Douglas was hoping for. They just didn't score the time before to try and tie it up, and so they still got to try and find a way to get back within 1 score.
Yeah, and this is a quarter that's playing kind of right into the Douglas Patriots' hands. They came down. Got some positive yardage on their first drive after giving up the kickoff return to open the second half for the Governors, but got some positive yardage. Then we're able to stop the Governors after that big 3rd down loss, and now they have the ball deep inside the Governor territory at the 40-yard line to start this drive.
Toss, I believe it's Clark in the backfield again, so it's good to see that he's back in the game for the 38. Clark will get a couple of yards, and we'll call a gain of maybe 1, if not 2, for Clark at 2nd down for Douglas.
Yeah, and that's encouraging to see Tyler Clark back in the game for the Patriots. I mean, he was down for several minutes and actually didn't move for at least a minute or two after that 4th down play, and it's good to see him back and upright and carrying the ball for the Patriots.
2nd and 8 from the 36-yard line, 3.5 to play here in the third quarter. as it will be Severson trying to go up the middle. Severson's going to try and keep that pile moving forward. And it'll be third down and manageable here for, Machachok gets his first carry. And Machachok's got enough for third and manageable here for Douglas. Call it a gain of 2 and 3rd and 6 for the Patriots with 3:10 to go.
And Machachok is almost a miniature version of William Refrigerator Perry in the backfield. He's maybe not quite as big as the Fridge, but at 295, he's one of the biggest fullbacks you're probably going to see at any level.
So Severson now from the shotgun, get a high snap. He'll put it down, trying to get the wide receiver jet sweep, and dropped in the backfield for a big loss by the Governors. That's a huge play. As Clark, it was for the Governors, Reagan Bullwig that got there first. As 4th down 11 on the loss of 6 for Clark.
Yeah, and just a jet sweep as Patriots came in motion, and just a little bit of a high snap and just enough to kind of throw the timing off, and Bullwig coming on the blitz off the near side, and he's able to just shoot in there, find a gap, and able to throw the Patriots for about a 5-yard loss.
4th down and 11. Severson's going to look to pass. He's going to throw over the middle. It's going to be well short of his intended receiver. He rolled to his right and threw it to the near sideline. He was thrown to the far sideline and threw it over to Clark on the near sideline. And that's a long throw to make on 4th down and 11, and it falls incomplete. Severson's 0 for 2, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, and especially on a night like tonight, like wind is blowing, has picked up some since kickoff, but it is blowing. But we have seen both quarterbacks really kind of struggle to throw the ball tonight, and for him to roll to his right and then come back all the way across the field. Clark was actually open coming back across the field on the post pattern, but just a long throw, and unfortunately for the Governors, it falls incomplete.
McGuire Raskey's got a first down on the first down run from the 38-yard line. He'll get right around the 49-yard line in Douglas territory. Gain of 13 on that first down run for McGuire Raskey, and he's up over the century mark now. 13 carries.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about. McGuire Raskey's consistency. No run longer than 26 yards this year, but he has been over 100 yards rushing in each one of the eight games the Governors have played so far this year. So just another night in the century at the century mark for McGuire Raskey.
1st and 10, handoff for Raskey again for the pistol formation. Raskey will slip through a couple of Douglas players, but he's going to pick up a couple yards. There is a flag that came flying in from the far side as he got around the 45-yard line. Pick up a 4 as it stands right now, and we'll see what the call is from the official. And it looks like it's going to be on the Governors as they're starting to walk back, probably a hold, and be about 1st and 18 at the end of the 10-yard penalty.
Holding, number 85 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First time.
Colin Bergman gets called for the hold. So it's going to be 1st and around 18 or so.
1st and 19.
From the 41, 42-yard line for the in-Governor territory now. So they got to cross into Douglas territory and have to come back now from their own territory. 1:40 left to go on 1st and around 18 for Pierre from the pistol. Handoff for Raskey again. They'll try and stiff arm a man. He slips through one tackler, spins off of another one, and he'll get right around that 49-yard line, picked up 8 yards. And 12 for Pierre.
Kind of a classic McGuire Raskey run, inside handoff, and actually got met about after a gain of about 3, but was able to spin and keep his feet churning and picked up 5 yards after first contact.
Raskey again gets the handoff. A flag's going to come in, and it might be on Colin Bergman for another time. As Raskey gets to make it 3rd and manageable here, but I believe we're going to get another penalty flag on the Governors to back him up some more as that flag came in right around where Colin Bergman was at. And we'll wait to see what the official is going to. The Governors again are walking backwards, so this has been a bad drive so far for them. It's going to be 2nd down and very long after this penalty is marked off. Wait for the official to make the announcements.
Clock below the waist, 85 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
So a block below the waist is called on Colin Bergman. It's now second down and somewhere around the 20-yard mark, 22 for Pierre.
And we've seen the Governors kind of have the penalty bug bite them before this year in some games, and right now that yellow flag of the officials is starting to bite them a little bit tonight.
Keenholz looks to air it out. He's going to throw over the middle. Grasky got a fingertip on it, but he couldn't pull it in. And they'll bring up third down at 22 from the Governor 39-yard line. And Coach Steele kind of saying, hey, let's get all 22 yards on that first play. Let's not just get half of it. Let's go for it all. And now Pierre, maybe they go a little bit more conservative here with 3rd and 22, trying to pick up some yards and play a little field position game with 55 to go in the quarter.
Yeah, and the best deep ball of the night thrown by Keenholz, just about a half a step outside of McGuire Rasky's reach, because if he's able to haul that in, that's a huge gain for the Governors.
3rd and 22 from their own 39-yard line. Empty backfield again for Keenholz. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to throw, looking for Bolwig. The catch is made. Reagan Bolwig slips through 2 tacklers, gets a block, and Bolwig's going to take it in for a touchdown for the Governors. A 71-yard, 69-yard run, 61-yard completion for Reagan Bolwig. I'll get it right eventually. 27-7, Governors lead by 20 with 42 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and again, Keenholz threw a really nice ball on the previous play. That time, that's just that crossing route that we've seen out of Bolwig a lot this year. Keenholz catches him right in stride. He'd actually beaten a couple of Douglas defenders. Bolwig drawn a lot of double and triple coverage this year. Had 2 defenders trailing him on the play. Keenholz hits him in stride, and then he got a nice block from, I think it was Jack Merquan over here, or Aaron Booth on the near sideline as Bolwig turns and cuts upfield, and then it's just Bolwig to the end zone with a lot of open space, and 61 yards later, the Governors are 28-7.
That extra point is good. 28-7 lead with 42 seconds to go. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. It was a 4-point drive for the Pierre Governors, a 61-yard throw from Lincoln Keenholz and catch from Reagan Bolwig that gets them up by 3 scores now. It's left to go in the third quarter, and those 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Their offense isn't built to try and score 3 times in that short a span.
Yeah, and Douglas has done some things where they've been able to get some of their running backs and their quarterback David Severson in space tonight, and so don't count the Patriots out, but the Governor defense just has to continue to do what they do, which is use those front 3 guys to occupy the offensive line, then just use those linebackers and secondary to come up and give run support.
On the first down run for Douglas, they'll pick up 7 or 8 yards as DeWitt will get a good chunk, and that might take us to the end of the third quarter. As DeWitt get 14 yards now on 3 carries with 15 seconds left to go. And Douglas, the time that they take, they might get this play off here. Final 8 seconds left. Trying to get one more play here before the end of the third quarter from under center. As Severson will go with the end around, looking to try and pick up the first down. Cutting it back, getting it near that first down marker are the Patriots. And wait to see where they mark it. Looks like it should be enough for a first down. It's going to take us to the end of the quarter. Clark was the one on the carry. He picked up those 4 yards, and it'll be enough for a first. And it will take us now to the fourth quarter. Governors lead 28-7 going into the fourth. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com.
For a first down.
As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, 28-7 as we start the fourth quarter. Be 1st and 10 from the Douglas 42-yard line.
Couple score updates quickly from around 11 AA. Spearfish and Sturgis late in the second quarter, just before halftime, tied at 7. Game we are watching closely. Huron and Mitchell. Huron leads Mitchell 13-7 at Joe Quinnell Field at halftime. The other game we're watching, number 1 Yankton, number 2 Brookings. Brookings leads that game at home 14-0. That game also at halftime. And a final in from Fort Pierre tonight. McCook Central Montrose, the 9 seed, beats Stanley County 22-14.
On 1st and 10, a quick run the left side, and Douglas, again, a pretty good start here to this drive, as I believe Severson was the one that kept it, and it'll be second down, and second and round 2, a gain of 8 for Severson. He's nearing the century mark, rushing the ball here tonight. Again, Douglas has no passing yards. They're just 0 for 2 so far through the air, and we kind of figured that was going to be somewhere around the key for this, or going to be this Douglas team not going to be running the ball or throwing the ball too much. Yeah, Clark and Severson both nearing the 100-yard mark, and kind of what we expected. Nothing real fancy out of the Patriots, but they have been generally effective. Just have not been able to get the breaks when they need it, or break off that one big run, and they've committed some penalties that have really caused them some problems here tonight. And now we've got a timeout for Douglas just right before the snap. And that's their, I believe, their first time out of the half. So 28-7, 11-10 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Back in 30 seconds. Listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. $11:10 left to go here in the fourth quarter. The Governors lead 28-7. The second timeout used by the Douglas Patriots. They'll have second and around 2 from the 49-yard line of 4. It's still side Douglas territory, but trailing by 3 scores again. Greg, this is a Douglas team that's not built to score quickly, and now they got to get really onside kicks. If they would score here, you almost think that they might try an onside kick to try and get it back, because this defense really hasn't been able to stop the Governors and really don't want to waste more time. Yeah, and this is almost a must-score drive for the Patriots right here early in the fourth quarter. Second and 2, a handoff for Clark. He gets wrapped up. He's still trying to fight his way forward. The ball comes on the ground, and the Governors say they got it. And the Governors do have it. And Pierre will take over their second turnover from Douglas. Second fumble. Didn't see who it was that picked up the fumble. It's first down. It might have been Deacon Huska that might have picked it up for Pierre. But either way, Clark fumbles the football, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Governors. Yeah, just the last thing that Douglas wanted to see right now is they were actually getting some positive yards on that drive, and then unfortunately put the ball on the ground. They put the ball on the ground a fair number of times tonight. One of the first times they've actually had an actual turnover tonight. As 1st and 10 for the 47-yard line. Governors will flip the play. Matt Hansen is in at wide receiver. Bolwig is out wide as a receiver. 4 receivers here for the Governors. Rasky would go in motion. A quick throw for Rasky, and it'll fall incomplete. And a flag came in. And as maybe the referee kind of pointed at Douglas, maybe they were all lined up offside and pick up those 5 yards. Yeah, and this is some kind of a procedure, offside, illegal motion kind of penalty, because the flag came in pre-snap, just before the ball was snapped.
Illegal shift against the offense, 2 men in motion at the same time. There was a forward pass, so 5-yard penalty, first down.
So it'll be 1st and 15. The referee, when he threw the penalty flag, he was pointing over at Douglas' side, acting like it was going to be on the Patriots, but it ended up being a legal shift that was called. And 1st and 15 here for the Governors from the
penalty has been declined.
Penalty will be declined, so it'll be now 2nd and 10. So get those 5 yards back.
Wouldn't that have been a dead ball penalty because it was 2 men in motion? So shouldn't that have been a?
Well, they let the play run out. They said the result of the play was incomplete. So 2nd and 10 from the 47. As it'll be a receiver on each side. Keenels will look to pass again. He'll try and throw it out wide for Rasky, and that one's going to be dropped. And Rasky's able to fight off the hit. It's now 3rd down and 10. And from the 47-yard line, 10:53 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and a ball that has Rasky on that swing route just coming out of the backfield and turns it upfield, and Keenholz just tried to float it over top of the defender and almost completed the play, but ball falls incomplete, and then Rasky had to avoid another Douglas defender coming in ready to put a hit on him just as he was about ready to go out of bounds.
Empty backfield here on 3rd and 10. Keenels will roll to his left. He's maybe trying to pick it up on the ground. Keenels will try and get to the sideline. He'll catch a block. Keenels down the sideline, stays in bound, and he's going to take it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. Lincoln Keenels goes 47 yards, and the Governors now lead 34-7 with 10:48 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and just a play where Keenholz saw an opening and came to the near sideline, and then got a nice block. I think it was from Aaron Booth here on the near sideline. And once he was able to cut it outside, then it was just a foot race down the sideline, and Keenholz won the race to pay dirt. The Governors now go up 34-7 with the extra point coming.
There's a 3-play drive there for the Pierre Governors that went 47 yards on that run, and Karsten Miller on for the extra point to try and make it a 28-point lead for the Governors as a line drive kick that will go through the uprights, and it's 35-7, 10:40 to go here in the 4th quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You listen to Pierre Governor football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Just a quick 3-play drive with the Pierre Governors, and Lincoln Keenels picked up all 47 yards on the ground on that scamper to make it 35-7. As Lincoln Keenels now 28 yards rushing after a couple of tough breaks on some bad snaps and a couple of sacks there. That's Keenels has found himself still a pretty good night overall, especially in the quarterback spot. Not really an enviable position to be in a game like this.
Yeah, and in a nice read for Keenholz, just again, it's just a night where you just don't have a lot of good footing to sit in the pocket, and as he started through his progressions, saw an opening here on the near sideline, and once he was able to break it to the outside, got some good blocking from his receivers, and then it was just a foot race to the end zone, and so for the Governors now go up 35-7 with 10:40 to go here in the 4th quarter, and the Governor offense after that first quarter has really started clicking.
Yeah, another touchdown and an extra point, and we can have a running clock for the rest of the 10:40. Will obviously be a little bit less than that, but for the rest of the game, as the ball fell off the tee, Carson Miller will tee it back up, and he will have another squib kick. It's going to be a low kick, and Douglas will fall on top of it right around, I believe, the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Douglas Patriots. I say 35-yard line because I'm not entirely sure every time the ball is down where we're actually at with because they had a chance to paint the field. You can kind of see some of the numbers as the snow's been not really melted off, but taken off by everybody stepping. You can kind of start to see where the numbers are at, but it's just so muddy that you can't see any. You can hardly see every 5 yards down as well. 1st and 10 for the 35. 10:40 to go here in the 4th quarter. Pistol formation for Severson. He will roll to his left, and he will take off with it, and he's going to get to the far sideline, and he's going to be dropped down, I believe, just past the 40-yard line. Good gain on 1st down for Severson.
Yeah, it'll be 2nd and medium from the nearest mud pie. How's that sound?
That sounds about right, yeah. So 2nd and 5 for the 40-yard mud pie. 10-15 and counting here in the fourth quarter. It'll be interesting to see what this field is going to be look like in the next Thursday when the Governors host either Mitchell or Huron. As they roll to the left again, Severson will take off with it. He's got enough first down. He's still moving. He's going to get all the way into Governor territory to the 45 of the Governors. So a good gain there for Severson. And a gain of 15-yard line, 14 yards for Severson.
Yeah, and that's actually been the best play for the Patriots all night. It's just been that direct snap to Severson, and then he just rolls to his left, and he's able to find a seam and has made good positive yardage just about every time they've run that play tonight.
1st and 10 from the 46. 9:40 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Inside Governor territory. As Severson will take it to the right side now. He'll follow his fullback. He'll be wrapped up and dropped by Jake Mayer. As a good open field tackle from the cornerback. And a gain of about 4 or so for Severson.
Severson comes up just hobbling just a little bit, not enough to take himself out of the game, but you can see that he is limping just a little bit. But nice open field tackle by Jake Mayer, the let's see here, 5'11", 145-pound sophomore cornerback for the Governors.
2nd and 7 from the 43. Under center. DeWitt will go in motion. Handoff for Clark. He'll go to the left side. He'll slip through a couple of tacklers. He stays on his feet. He's going to try and dive forward. I believe he's going to dive enough for a first down. He's going to get to the 35-yard line. A gain of 8 and enough for a first down for Clark.
And we're kind of back into the way that the Patriots kind of manhandled the Governor defense in that first drive of the game. I mean, they're just running and seem to be running pretty effectively to the left side of their formation, to the far side of the field as Patriots drive from left to right on your radio dial. But the Patriots are doing some nice things on this drive and kind of have the Governor defense on their heels just a little bit.
Toss for Clark on the left side. He's going to go to that far sideline, sidesteps and tries to fall forward, but he's going to be knocked and does not go out of bounds. The clock continues to run as he'll get near inside the 30-yard line to around the 27 and a gain of 7 for Clark.
And for the Patriots right now, probably what you're looking at is the reality that this game's probably out of hand with 8:08 to go, and the Governors in the lead 35-7. But right now, if the Patriots can rise up, put a score on the board, maybe get a stop, maybe get some other positive things to happen, and end on a good note going into playoff week. That may be what you can expect out of this Patriots team going into the playoffs next week.
Clark got the handoff, trying to get to the first down marker. I think he's going to be just short, a gain of 2, and it's 3rd and 1 for the Patriots. And yeah, it's all about trying to get yourself ready for week 1 of the quarterfinal playoffs, as the Governors will host Huron or Mitchell. Douglas will probably, right now, if scores hold up, they'll go to Yankton next Friday as the 7th seed, or excuse me, next Thursday as the 7th seed to take on the Bucks, the 2 seed, if Brookings is able to hold on and beat the Yankton Bucks. Severson, a handoff, a Chachok. He was the one that he might have give him credit for the tackle. He shoved Severson down right at the first down marker. He might have enough for a first down.
Yeah, and Severson kind of actually got stood up right at the line of scrimmage, and Machachuk came in from the fullback position and just literally blocked Severson forward about a yard, and I think he blocked him forward enough to push him forward past the first down sticks, and he does have a first down. And again, clock running, we're right at 7 minutes to go in the game, but the Patriots are moving here midway through the fourth quarter.
Severson's going to go to school tomorrow, say, man, my neck hurts a little bit. But Chachok goes, oh, sorry about that. We got the first down, though.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for the 24. You don't see that too often where your fullback is giving you the shove to get a first down. As a handoff for Clark, trying to get to the right side, but he is wrapped up, and the Governors continue just to swarm the ball as they're selling out for the run. And of course, when Severson's 0 for 2 so far, you can sell out for the run and make them try and pass the ball. Clark gets a gain of 1 on that. He's got 26 carries now, 105 yards for 26 carries. and 115 yards for Severson on the ground as well.
Yeah, and you touched on an interesting point, John, just a little bit ago. It's a Thursday night, so these young men on both sides of the ball have to get up and go to school tomorrow. And for Douglas, they've got a 2.5 hour bus ride going home tonight. So it will be kind of a long day tomorrow. It's not a typical Friday night. Be able to sleep in on Saturday and kind of work the muscles out. So it'll be kind of a long day for any of these young men in their academic careers tomorrow.
Clark picks up 3 yards, 3rd and 6 here. And for the Governors, they're looking to get one more stop, 5:40 to go here in the fourth quarter, and finish the season at 6-2. And we'll wait to see right now as the score holds. It would be, actually right now, the score is not holding who's going to win or lose. It's 13-13 between Huron and Mitchell. Toss to the backfield for Clark. He slips through the first tackle of Josh Rouse. He comes up not happy that he didn't get that tackle, but it should bring up 4th down for Douglas, and he still got wrapped up.
Gain of 3 on the play.
It'll be 4th down and around 3 for the Douglas Patriots.
4th and 3 for the Patriots.
And this is could be the last offensive play for the Douglas Patriots if they cannot pick up this first down, because the Governors might just hold on for it for the next 4.5 minutes. 4th and around 2 or 3 from the 17-yard line.
You ready?
Clark Severson will go from under center. Offset I formation, handoff for Clark. He'll try and dive over the pile to get a first down. I think he's got enough for a first down. And it should be, or is there a flag that's been thrown? It is a first down for the Patriots.
Yeah, and just an off tackle play, and the Patriot offensive line won the push on that play, and enough for the first down. And Patriots inside the red zone at about the Governor 15-yard line, 4.5 to go before the gun goes off. And again, I think they're just trying to put something positive on the board right now to go into practice over the next week to get ready for the playoffs and that long trip cross state.
From under center, and Severson tried to take it himself, try to slip through that offensive line, and he's going to go nowhere from the 14-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for the 14, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10 now from the 14-yard line.
Yeah, and again, just to play, Severson's under center, and he kind of gets stood up right at the line. That time he didn't have Machechuk coming in from the backside to try to give him the assist, but just kind of got stood up, and just a lot of credit to the interior of the Governor defensive line. I mean, just doing a really nice job. Holding firm against that really big offensive line that the Patriots have brought to town.
13th play of the drive, 2nd and 10 for the 14, 3:30 to play here in the fourth quarter. Handoff for Clark again. He's going to try and get to the right side, trying to get inside the 5-yard line. He's got to get to the 4 to pick up a first down. He's inside the 10, and it'll be 3rd down and manageable here for the Patriots. And it'll be about 3rd and call it gain of 5, or call it 3rd and 5. From the around an 8-9 yard line. A big 3rd down play again for Douglas. 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Severson, they'll go for DeWitt. He gets right past the first tackler, Josh Strand. He gets thrown down before he gets to the goal line. And he might have enough for a first down. And I believe he does. And it should be, well, maybe it is going to be 4th down. So it's going to be 4th down and 1, 4 for DeWitt.
Yeah, not just the old-fashioned. I don't know if you want to call it student body left, but DeWitt just gets the ball and not using the typical jet sweep motion, but just getting to the outside on the sweep and able to turn the corner up and just get a couple of yards and make it into 4th and short.
On 4th and 1, and they will pick up the first down, but they won't get in the end zone, will Clark. And it's going to be 1st and goal now for Douglas. Maybe a gain of 2, and it will be for Clark. And it's 121 yards on 31 carries for Tyler Clark. 1st and goal for the 2. 2:10 left to play. Let's see if the Governors can get a goal line stand. That'd be huge going into next Thursday in the first round game against either Huron or Mitchell. From under center, Severson. Let's see if maybe he'll keep it himself. Instead, he'll hand it off for Clark, trying to get to the end zone. He's at the 2-yard line, and he did get in for a touchdown. And Tyler Clark will make it a 35-13 game with 1:54 to play. The Governors have all but won this ball game here in the next minute and 54 seconds as they come on for the extra points. A long drive there for the Douglas Patriots to score.
Yeah, just kind of a prototypical Douglas drive. Just not real fancy. Just a lot of stuff in between the tackles. Bounce it outside a couple of times, but very effective drive. Out physical the Governor defense that time, and they're able to punch it in, and
that goes off the crossbar and miss the extra point. Knocked some snow off the crossbar. 35-13 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. With a 1:54 left to go here in the fourth quarter, it was a 15-play drive for the Douglas Patriots, and it was capped off on a 2-yard touchdown run from Tyler Clark, who has carried the ball now 32 times for this Douglas team, which is not so unfamiliar to what Pierre has done in previous games with McGuire Raskey, getting nearly 35 touches in a game as well. But the Patriots, they trail 35-13, and the Governors really, with a couple of plays, can run out the clock and finish this one off and get everybody healthy going into the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and I have not seen, at least so far, any Governor injuries, which I think is the biggest thing. I mean, the Governors were pretty well locked into that number 3 seed regardless of the outcome tonight. So this, we heard Coach Steele talk about, this is the final week to kind of tune up and get ready. And so if you can do that without getting anybody hurt, that's a big deal.
A short kick that goes off of a couple of Governors and had to be fielded on a diving play by one of the Pierre players, and it's going to be 1st and 10. Looks like Christian Bush was the one that dove on top of it, and he might be in as the new center for the Governors. Cade Kaiser will come in to be the quarterback for the Governors. You had Matt Hansen out there. You also see Nathan Williams for the Governors. Looks like mostly a new offensive line.
I think Matt Kruger is checked in as the running back, so McGuire Raskey's night is done. Looks like Jackson Edmond is in at the tight end position, and you're right, John. I think we do have a totally new offensive line for the Governors.
Kaiser will hand off for Kruger, going straight up the middle. Look at that little guy go. He gets a good gain on first down. If he didn't run into any Douglas players or anybody touch him, he could have scored about another 2 seconds as he had that motor running from the 38 to around the 45-yard line to get a 7 for Kruger.
Yeah, and Matt Kruger does a nice job running the ball. He's only 5'6", 160 pounds, but he runs very effectively and very hard, and would probably start on a lot of other high school teams across this state. Unfortunately, having to be the understudy behind McGuire Raskey, but nice job for Matt Kruger tonight.
Let's see, Matt Kruger will get a pick up a 2, and it's 3rd down and 1 with 1:05 left to play. Freshman Cade Kaiser, he will take the 3rd and 1 snap, hand off for Kruger. He's going to pick up a 1st down, and he's going to have a little bit more as he'll get a couple of extra yards. It's going to be Kaylor Heineman will get the pickup of a couple of yards.
Kaylor Heineman also playing that backup role to Raskey this year. The Heineman, the 5'10", 160-pound senior, and again another very talented young man, and again gives the Governors a couple of nice options behind Raskey in case something ever happens to Raskey. You got Kruger and Heineman that can step in and do some very nice things in the run game for the black and green.
Heineman will get that carry. It'll be a gain of about 7. Again, it'll be 2nd and 3, and with 20 seconds to go, the Governors don't have to run another play, and I don't believe they are going to run that final play. Looks like it's should be it for the Governors. Well, maybe they might. They're all standing around. Looks like they will not get lined up here. Governors are going to win this one at 35-13 here tonight, and they will finish the season at 6-2. Douglas will go to 1-7 as both teams get ready for the first round of the playoffs next week, Thursday. 35-13 win for the Pierre Governors. Back in 3 minutes with the post-game show. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field into our post-game shows, the Pierre Governors, they win 35-13 over the Douglas Patriots as they finish the season at 6-2. Douglas at 1-7. John McClure alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, when you looked at this game and you kind of thought that Douglas was going to put up a good fight, and they did in the first half, and really all game too. When you look at the final stats, yes, Douglas didn't have any passing yards, but unofficially they outgained the Governors by 7 yards, 258-251 in the game. And that's going to be, if that is, and of course my calculations can be easily wrong, especially here tonight of all nights. But if they do have that advantage, that's a big positive for this Douglas team going into the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and Douglas had a couple of positives. They had a couple of very nice long drives, long methodical kind of drives where they piled up the yards. Unfortunately, they were kind of the victim of a couple of self-inflicted wounds. Those two penalties on that drive right before halftime that allowed the Governors to gain some momentum and go into halftime up 13-7, and then the kickoff return to open the second half. That that was a huge momentum swing, and really I think was kind of even though it happened with 11:48 to go in the third quarter, I think was really kind of the nail in the coffin for the Patriots tonight. And so for the Governors, it was a night, even though they win 35-13, it was kind of one of those nights where they did just enough to win. I mean, because there was a couple of times, and we talked about it off air on the commercial breaks, that thanks to one of our players of the game, Josh Rouse made a couple of nice game-saving tackles, touchdown-saving tackles, because if he doesn't kind of grab those ankles at the very last second, the Douglas running backs probably have an opportunity to get to the sidelines and maybe even find their way to the end zone. So it's a night where the Governors did enough to win. Douglas was close, but just not quite enough tonight. And so I think if you're Dan Maciejczuk for the Patriots, you're looking at this game and going, we got some things to build on, but hopefully it's enough to build on and maybe go cross state and have an upset next Thursday night. For the Governors, they are sitting and now going to scoreboard watch as they will now see that early in the fourth quarter, Huron now has a 19-13 lead over Mitchell. If so, the Governors would see Mitchell here next Thursday night. Again, it's a Thursday night game, not a Friday night game next week.
And the start time will be official once all the games have been set for next week. We'll get that start time. Actually, Athletic Director Brian Mosier is over here too, so maybe we might get a first quick hand of what time that game might start before we leave here tonight, whether it's off air or not. But the Governors will face the loser of Mitchell and Huron here. Kind of it's almost not necessarily double elimination, but you kind of get to see who your opponent is, not by any other of the of seat points or anything like that. You just know the loser is coming here to appear on next Thursday, and Douglas will be going out to the loser of Brookings and Yankton, which would be the 2 versus 7 matchup. And of course, then those two winners would meet between Pierre and potentially Mitchell. And then as Brookings is not necessarily pounding Yankton, but they're up 27-0. So they're looking like they're going to be the top seed. So the Douglas Patriots will then go see Yankton next week, Thursday, and Sturgis up by near 21-7 over Spearfish, as that game is moving into the second half, later in the second half as well. Here tonight, the Governors, they win 35-13. McGuire Rasky only had 14 carries, but he made the most of 110 yards on those 14 carries, averaging 14 yards, 8 carry with he also scored twice on back-to-back runs, actually, and he also had a kickoff return to start the third quarter and got the Governors off and rolling here tonight.
Yeah, and again, just a kind of a classic McGuire Rasky night. Nothing real big, but just very effective. It doesn't go down on first contact. Just runs hard, keeps the feet chopping, and we were talking earlier today, John and I, were the fact that McGuire Rasky now up close to about 1,300 yards on the season. If he's able to break, even a couple of long runs. I mean, that's just the one thing that's been missing out of his game. I mean, not to his own detriment, just has not been able to break one of those long 80-yard runs this year. And that's really been the only thing missing on his resume right now, is just that long highlight reel kind of run so far.
Yeah, it's amazing that his longest run is 26 yards. You don't see that very often from a guy that's got as many yards as he does. And we'll talk with him here in just a little bit as he and Josh Rouse come up as our players of the game. As we'll give it first to McGuire Rasky. So McGuire, 110 yards for you here on the ground here tonight. You seem a little cold. Is it a little cold outside?
Yeah, it's very cold. I don't know if it'd be that bad if it wasn't so muddy and snow everywhere, but it's pretty cold, yeah.
Well, you guys maybe start off a little cold here in the game here tonight, but got things rolling. You took the second half kickoff back for a touchdown, kind of got everything going after that. Talk about maybe the slow start and if you saw the reason why it was maybe such a slow start.
I think we came out, we played pretty flat, we were stiff. We kind of underestimated them. And they took advantage of our mistakes and they just pounded the ball. But, we settled in and figured out what we were doing wrong, and we came back and hit them in the mouth and did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, and I think that was really kind of the thing that we talked about on air earlier, is that the first half was kind of a tale of two different quarters. I mean, that first quarter was something Douglas really controlled and kind of hit you in the nose with that first drive and probably woke you up a little bit.
Yeah,
because
for
they
sure.
were pretty effective on that first drive, and then after that, your offensive line again kind of came to play again tonight. I mean, talk a little bit about how maybe your offensive line was able to manhandle that big Douglas size tonight.
Yeah, they had a good push all day. The Douglas's D line was pretty dang big, but we stayed low, and I think we got a good push, and holes opened up, and I was able to find it and got in for a couple touchdowns.
You guys finish the season at 6-2. You get the first round next Thursday. Right now, Huron's got a lead on Mitchell, which then Mitchell would then come to play you guys. But obviously, what do you guys need to do going into this next week, and how much when the coaches talk to you, how much do they take into consideration the factor of the weather and the field conditions of how this game was played?
I think they understand that the field's not ideal playing conditions. But we might blame a couple of our mistakes on that, but we all know in the back of our heads that we just got to play to our best ability every play. And I mean, next week's gonna be a tough game. Can't overlook them just because what we did last week to them, or I don't even know when we played them, but you just got to play hard and stay focused.
Maybe let's go back and talk about your kickoff return to open the second half. I mean, that was again, and we talked about how good the Governor's special teams are year in and year out. I mean, under Coach Jeff Schleckaway, you took that kickoff and you had a big hole going right up the middle. I mean, talk about the call on the return and maybe what you saw after you picked up that ball on the initial bounce.
Yeah, first I thought it was going to go straight to Colin. I didn't even know it was going to get over his head. And then I kind of just sat back and saw it bounce. And then we always go, we just went deep or return middle. So I went up the middle and there was a big lane. I mean, our big guys up front and everybody behind them did a pretty good job blocking. And I know a kid tried arm tackling me and I broke that and I just bounced it to the outside and returned it.
As you guys move forward too, and for you especially with those 2 touchdown runs, you get a little bit closer. You're still kind of chasing the history right now. When you step on the field, how much is that in your mind, or is that completely gone and you're just worried about a win?
Oh, I think about it. It's normally the first thing I think about, but it's like 50-50. I want to win. I'd rather win than break this record, but it's always in the back of my head.
And really, I mean, as you get closer, you are in arm's reach.
Yeah, I've been averaging out how many touchdowns I need per game and stuff, but yeah.
Well, maybe not talk about the game for a second, but how good is a warm shower going to feel right now?
Oh, amazing.
You're 6-2. Now you guys are the 3 seed. You give me the 3 seed. Last couple of years, you've been the 1 seed in your state championship runs. As it would stand, if all the seeds hold up, you have to go on the road. How much fun is that to kind of now be? Yeah, you're still the top dog, but kind of be the underdog in terms of seeds now.
It'll be different. Since I've been here, we've always been the number 1 seed going into it, but I mean, nothing too different. I mean, we're not going to be able to play at home second round, which is, I mean, it's not the same, but I mean, it's going to be the same either way. We got to play our best and stay focused and go out there and do what we're supposed to do.
If things stay the way they are right now, you'd be on the same side of the bracket. Obviously, we've talked about if these scores hold up, Mitchell will come in here next Thursday, but then potentially sets up a semifinal game back in Yankton, in a game that earlier in the year you guys went toe for toe for them through the first half, and then just didn't get some breaks in the second half, and Yankton was able to put the ball game away in the fourth quarter. If that ends up being the semifinal matchup, how much are you looking forward to a rematch down in Crane Youngworth Field?
Oh yeah, we want that game. Last time we played them, we played a really good first half, and second half we made mistakes, and almost every mistake we had, they scored. It felt like, but we've grown a lot as a team. We're, I feel like, way better now, and we've been talking about playing them again for a while now, and can't ask for much more.
McGuire, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
We'll see you next Thursday right back here for the first round of the playoffs, and we'll get our second player of the game, and Josh Rouse. He's going to – good thing he's wearing those gloves because I think that's the only clean thing about him right now. Josh, let's talk about this game. Let's talk about you guys on defense, and especially you. As you sit in that linebacker position, you get to move from sideline to sideline, and you do a really good job of sideline to sideline. In this game, with just trying to get a hand on a guy to try and trip him up, how difficult though is that to get your footing to kind of make those cutbacks?
Oh, it's a lot worse than you think. I mean, one time I had him, and the next time he's gone behind me, and then the field is just awful, and players running everywhere. It's not fun at all. But we can't blame the field conditions on missed tackles. That's just fundamentals and keying off our reads and stuff like that. But then later on in the game, we did pretty good.
We should turn this camera around, John, because give everybody a chance to look at Josh Rouse because he is going to need an entire bottle of body wash to get this mud caked off of him tonight. I mean, he has worked hard. I mean, this game and we really thought you did a nice job when you shot through and really made a couple of ankle tackles that I think probably saved a couple of touchdowns tonight. And again, you talked about the field conditions, but how tough was it? Usually your job is to kind of find those openings, coming through that defensive line and scraping off your defensive lineman. On a night like tonight, especially with as big as that offensive line for Douglas was that a little tougher tonight?
Yeah, I mean, usually the gaps open up, and they were there, but I mean, they just close a lot quicker, and guys are always sliding around. So if you see the gap, you got to hit it hard, or else you're gonna get tripped up or slip. And cutbacks are always awful. But you just got to hit her hard, and hopefully you get it.
I gotta believe though that this is still a lot of fun to go play in front on snow in your last regular season game on senior night.
Oh yeah, and people say that Brookings last year was worse than this. I mean, it was muddy and stuff, but it wasn't near as cold, and that took wear and tear on a lot of kids, especially me. I mean, I can't even feel my feet right now. But that's beside the point. But, yeah, field conditions, I mean, it's fun. I wish it was kept snowing, but.
I guess it did stop right around halftime. And although there's still enough snow to go around.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So looking forward to next week. I mean, if the scores hold up the way they are right now, you're going to probably see Mitchell again next week as now Huron has extended their lead out 26-13 late in the fourth quarter. So you're probably going to see Mitchell here next week. What thinking back to last week's game, what do you expect out of Mitchell as you head into the first round of the playoffs, and what are you going to take away from last week's game that may help you going into next week?
Definitely, I think they're going to take some shots downfield on us because, I mean, that's kind of where they got us, is passing the ball. And we were kind of out of position, everyone, not just our DBs, but me as linebacker. I was out of position too. But they're going to try to run up the middle too because they did have some big plays up the middle. But for the most part, I think it's just going to be same as last time. Keep them inside, keep them in the box, nothing outside. Because if they get outside, we don't have as many people out there. But I think it'll be a game next week, and we'll see.
Yeah, and as you get farther in the playoffs, the chances of, if you make the state championship, of playing Yankton and Brookings are pretty big. Those are the two teams that beat you. Here in the first round, it's going to be a team that you guys beat, so you have to prepare for them a little bit different. As you get ready for it, do you kind of think that you'll see more of a different thing from Mitchell?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they got their plays where they had big on us, and I think they're going to come back at us with that. But I think there's still going to be them plays where they want to hopefully get it on us, but it's not going to happen. But there's going to be some big plays.
Okay, we'll ask you the question we asked McGuire. How good's a hot shower going to feel right now?
Well, I told the guys in the locker room I think I'm just going to sleep in the bathtub tonight.
you may need to sleep in the bathtub to get all that mud off of you.
Josh, congratulations on the win. We'll see you next Thursday here, right back here at Hollister Field for the first round of the playoffs.
Thank you, guys.
Josh Rouse, the second player of our game, and we will now be joined with Coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governor, the head coach of the Pierre Governor football team. All right, Coach. First, you can say hi to the camera. Say,
Oh, hey.
Yeah, you can say hi to the wife.
Let's checking, making sure we're checking and seeing what the score was for Huron.
Maybe mom and dad are still watching right now.
Yeah, maybe.
But let's talk about this game. A 35-13 win. Maybe a little bit of a slow start for you guys. What was the message after that first quarter to get these guys moving a little bit, maybe a little bit more quicker? I mean, Douglas, again, you kind of see this every first half from them. They are in ball games, but what did you talk to those guys about after the first quarter?
I just think the first drive we didn't tackle very well. I think granted, after you touch the ground, you're laying out on the ground once, you're kind of a greased pig tonight. But we didn't tackle. We got to the spot. We didn't wrap up. And, again, there was really no way to physically grab any jersey after they were rolling around in the mud. But, they're really big. I mean, we were hurt by their size tonight, and they opened some holes. And I think the first drive, especially, you saw the offensive line move our defensive line right down the field. So, our guys did a good job adjusting to that and, finding some ways to slice behind and just kind of hold them there. But, that was the big thing. And, I just think the footing was kind of the other thing that I think you noticed as the game went on. Guys got a little bit more comfortable and were understanding of how far they could really get out before they slipped, because that first drive you saw everyone kind of tiptoe, and that's never good on defense if you're tiptoeing, because you're going to go backwards pretty quick.
You've got a team that has kind of been a slow starting team all year long. I mean, that first quarter has you just kind of have had trouble getting out of the blocks. And as you now go into the playoffs, anything that you can do to try to come out of the locker room maybe a little more engaged, a little more energy?
I don't. Maybe we got to take the ball first. I think maybe that's what we got to do to get a little bit of energy. But no, I don't know. I said tonight was a tough night, to get going. But last week I said, Mitchell, you got to credit, they came out and threw some wrinkles at us right from the get go, and we'll have to be ready for that again if that's who we play. I mean, they're gonna have some wrinkles for us, and no matter who it is, Huron or Mitchell, it's very hard to beat a team twice. And especially the team winning the first game doesn't always feel a lot of pressure to change very much, and the other team obviously feels a lot of pressure to change things. So usually you're going to see some different things, and so we'll have to be ready for that so that we can hopefully avoid a slow start next week.
Yeah, and the last couple of years, some of the teams that you beat twice were you guys were the favorite by a lot in a lot of these games. Maybe not going into this next week. Maybe not so much the favorite like you had been in first rounds previously. So is that a little bit difficult to when you think about what to change, that you're going, do I feel like I'm overcoaching and making these adjustments, or is this necessary to make this happen so we can make sure we still win this game?
Yeah, I think the big thing that we've done in the past and that we still need to do this year is just have contingencies. I think that initially you do kind of want to use a similar style game plan. Because obviously it did work, and no team's going to completely change everything at this point. It's going to be wrinkles. It's not going to be a whole new offense or defense. So, the vast majority of the game plan, I think, should remain the same, and it probably will. But, we do have to have wrinkles of our own ready to go. We do have to have some contingencies and plans for some wrinkles that we could see them using, and I think, again, if it's Mitchell, I think we could see Phillips more at that slot receiver-esque role a little bit more, because I think we bottled them up really well in the run, and they were able to get some routes with them outside easier that way. So, those are all those things that we'll have to look at and kind of see what we think they could do, as opposed to, right now in the regular season when you play them for the first time, it's just what are they doing?
Yeah, and I guess that was you touched on the question I was going to ask is the fact that you probably are going to see Parker Phillips. And your defense did a really nice job last week of bottling him up on the run. I think he held him to a season low 20 yards or thereabouts rushing for a young man who came in with over 1,300 yards on the season. And then they moved him out in the slot in the fourth quarter, and he hit him for 2 big long touchdown passes. And so that's got to be sticking in the back of your mind going into next week.
Yeah, and those are some of those things that we'll have to talk and have a plan for. Because obviously, again, their bread and butter is still him in the backfield. No matter what they do, I'm sure we'll still see him back there at some point. So we'll still have those things, but we do have to have a plan for what happens if he goes out wide. What can we do differently to avoid what happened at the end of that game happening again, and, being prepared for some things that they didn't run, but still have him out wide.
And you guys do a very good job of making sure that you're focused on your opponent going into that game. In the back of guys' minds, and I kind of talk about the rematch against Yankton in the semifinals, or the rematch against Brookings, and the rematch in the state championship of games that you guys have lost. How do you make sure that these guys are focused on Mitchell, or if they do come back in Huron next week, but you're focused on the first round opponent and not worried about what the state semifinals and championship will have?
Well, it's pretty simple. We don't get a rematch with Yankton if we don't beat whoever we play next week. So, you know, I mean, we can want a rematch all we want, but you know, if we don't get through next week, we don't get a rematch. We're done. So, you know, this is the exciting part of the year where, you know, we still want to keep growing, but the focus is no longer on growing. We've got to focus to have our cupboard ready to throw everything out to win a football game next Thursday. And if we do that, then we've got to keep restock our cupboard with what we need and throw it all out again. So, you know, it's a 1 week season right now. That's the way we've got to approach it. And, you know, we can't plan ahead. You know, we've got to plan for this one. And then once you get through that one, then you can plan for the next one.
Yeah, so going into next week, and it looks like Huron has just scored again. They now lead 34-13 with a minute left to go in the fourth quarter. With the likelihood that you're gonna play Mitchell, if you got some stuff in your playbook, you don't have to say it yes or no, but you got some stuff in your playbook that maybe we haven't seen this year, like you talked about wrinkles that you know you're willing to pull out at any stage in the playoff run right now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely we do. I mean, you know, I think any good coaching staff should. You know, I mean, once you get to the point again where it's 1 game seasons, I mean, you've got to have stuff ready for if nothing else is working, then you know we got to try something. So you know we've obviously got some of that stuff ready to roll and. You know, again, if we need it, we'll use it. If not, then we keep it back there and save it for when we do. But, you know, we've got to have everything prepared and ready to throw out if we need it.
Injury-wise, going into next week, how'd you guys fare here tonight?
I think we should be in good shape. And Denton Beck should be back next week. Had a little infection in his thumb that kept him out tonight, so he should be back next week. And then hopefully we're getting closer to full strength again.
Yeah. So we'll ask you the same question we asked the other two. How good is a hot shower going to feel right now?
You know, it actually feels really good standing right by this thing. So I'm okay standing here for the moment. Yeah, you're in a short sleeve shirt, and I've got about 17 layers on. So, I mean, I'm actually sweating underneath all this right now.
Tell you what, I'll just turn it over. You can finish up the post game.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the only thing right now that's still a little cold is my feet. Other than my feet, I feel pretty good right now.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. We'll see you next Thursday here for the first round, and potentially could be the last home game of the season of 2020 for you guys.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Coach Steve Steele, the Pierre Governor of football team, as they win here tonight, 35-13, as we will wrap things up. And we're going to turn this camera around the other way. Nobody wants to see our ugly mugs. As John Wickler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, your final thoughts here on the win for the Pierre Governors.
Well, you know, in kind of a methodical, like I said, before we started the post-game interviews, I think it was a night where the Governors did enough to win. I don't think it was very pretty tonight. I don't think any of the coaching staff will tell you it was a pretty win. I mean, there's certainly some things that they can work on in the next week, but you got the W. I mean, and you go into the playoffs with a nice win under your belt. You go back to you now got a 2-game win streak and won 4 of your last 5, I think, 6-2 on the year. So you know the Governors are right there. I mean the 2 games they lost to the 1 and 2 seeds above them certainly are games that were certainly winnable and games that they were in until late. And so there's not a lot of margin. There's not a lot of separation between 1, 2, and 3 in this class. I mean, so this playoff run should be a fun one for all 8 teams in 11 AA. But I think it's going to be. I think it certainly has the potential to be a really fun playoff run for the Governors.
Yeah, as they will take on Mitchell on next Thursday, as they are just about done with that ball game. Final minute, and they're down by 21. So it'll be Pierre and Mitchell back here on a Thursday. And we'll wait to see what kickoff is, if it's going to be at the same time at 6 o'clock like it was here tonight. But we'll be on around 25 minutes before kickoff for the pregame show right here on today's KCCR, todayskccr.com, and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Governors, this is going to be, like you said, a fun playoff run, and one that we haven't seen from Pierre in quite some time. Because, you look at what they had to do in the last couple of state championships, it was almost that they had to just hold on and be the top seed. Now they get to go in on the road to try and get to a state championship, unless there's an upset in the first round. But they're going to have to go on the road to try and get to the state championship, something that we haven't seen from this Pierre Governor team. And I think that's, especially for us broadcasters, we're going to have a lot of fun watching that, to come to life here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and the Governors will go in as a little bit of an underdog. I mean, it's a role they have not had to wear over the last couple of years. So they're flying a little bit under the radar. The focus especially over the last couple of weeks has been on the undefeateds of Brookings and Yankton. And right now, Brookings is all over Yankton.
Wow.
Midway through the fourth quarter, Brookings is shutting out Yankton 41-0. And so a little bit of a surprise there. But then again, we talked about the fact that that if you look at the top three teams, I mean, collectively, those three teams have just 3 losses between them, and then there's the rest of the class. But kind of the thing that is kind of sitting off in the shadows is you just never know when you might run in, a particular team might run into a COVID outbreak, and 11 AA is a class where you can't sub a team in because there's only 8 teams in the class. So if you have a team that faces an outbreak and has a bunch of players either quarantined or close contacts or whatever, funny things can happen over the next couple of weeks. And so again, this might be that really strange year where you get a game not decided on the field. We had a couple of forfeits already down in 9B, and so you hope that doesn't happen, but that potential certainly lays out there.
Governors, they will take on Mitchell here next week Thursday here at Hollister Field. Should be, if sealed told true, will be the final time the Governors play here at Hollister as they win 35-13 over the Douglas Patriots here this evening. Stick around. We will have NFL football for you. The Eagles and the Giants is currently 10-7 at the break between the Eagles and the Giants, as we'll have that one for you. Thanks to Ray Lewis back at the station, to Greg Dean to my left. I'm John Winkler. 35-13 win for the Pierre Governors here tonight over the Douglas Patriots, as they will host Mitchell in the first round of the playoffs next week Thursday. We'll send you out to Philadelphia for the Eagles and the Giants. Again, the Governors win 35-13 as we say good night from Hollister Field.